Senior, third-year varsity All-American captain, Gabriela Riojas.
Time now for another edition of Football Night in McAllen. We're coming to you from United Mixed Pharmacy Field on McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. Tonight's the PSJA Memorial Wolverines are in the house to take on the McAllen Bulldogs. It's all coming your way next on Football Night in McAllen.
Furniture is celebrating their 38th anniversary sale.
Now save $500 on a beautiful 6-piece transitional style bedroom set.
Now only $7.99.
And take advantage of 5 years, no interest.
Plus free valley-wide delivery.
Gonzalez Furniture, your discount furniture store.
And welcome to another edition of Football Night in McAllen. Tonight, non-district action, the PSJA Memorial Wolverines taking on the McAllen Bulldogs. I'm Mark May here along with Mario Reyna. As always, glad you could be with us. And Mario, I know tonight's game may not be in the brightest part of the spotlight tonight, but I know for both of these teams it means a lot.
It absolutely does, because both teams struggled last year, especially at the end of the season. We know that the Wolverines did not win a single ball game. So they both lost last week, so they both don't want to continue that streak of losing, because then it's hard to motivate the kids.
And this Farm Memorial team is pretty young.
Very young. They don't have a lot of seniors here on their starting lineup.
Yeah, only about 7 seniors in their starting 22 for PSJA Memorial, so experience will favor the Bulldogs a little bit here tonight. What do you have as the keys to the game?
Well, I'm looking at going back because of the culture of the club right now, the two teams. One of the things for sure, I feel that what kind of adjustments were they able to make from last week? And did they clean up some of the mistakes, some of the penalties, the turnovers? That's going to be key. And early success in the first quarter for both teams is going to play big, especially if they can clean up also the turnovers and all that, so that the kids won't get down on themselves. Because like anything else, once you start winning, you start believing in yourself, and then you start playing a little bit of better football.
Yeah, teams are looking to build some momentum.
Exactly.
And tonight is a great opportunity for both of these teams. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue on our pregame show in a little bit. We're going to take a break. You're watching Football Night in McAllen. And hello, welcome to United Mixed Pharmacy Field at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. I'm Mark May here with Mario Reyna, and we're just moments away from kickoff from tonight's non-district game between the McAllen Bulldogs and the PSJA Memorial Wolverines. And Mario, what are these two teams, how are they going to come out here tonight to get off to a good start?
Well, they have to make the main thing is like anything else, even when a team that doesn't struggle, it's about turnovers, having a good first opening possession, trying to stay on the field, make positive plays. All that will get the kids going.
Mm-hmm. And I know this PSJA Memorial team, they like to throw the football. They only have one running back, and the rest are all receivers. So we'll see early on how that the Mackay pass defense handles that. Orlando Munoz, the starting quarterback for PSJA Memorial, there you can see in their visiting white uniforms with the green numerals, getting ready to hear their school's alma mater. And so Mackay's defense is going to be tested early through the air.
That's right, and last week they had their good moments and they had their tough moments. Early in the game, they struggled a little bit, but then they had 3 or 4 series where they had back-to-back stops. And that's what you need in any defense, to be consistent, to make those stops, get your offense back on the field, because J.R. Cortez has a lot of potential. He had a lot of good plays, and so did Gunnar Henderson. We know Roy Gutierrez struggled a little bit. It was tough running the ball.
Yeah, running the ball, not as strong, but certainly through the air. I think Cortez had about 170 yards passing, at least one touchdown pass to that man right there, Gunnar Henderson, the senior wide receiver. We'll look for Henderson to his number to be called several times here tonight. Also, number 82, Dylan Martinez. He caught a long pass and almost caught another one that would have gone for a touchdown. Christian Solis, also good out of the backfield into the pattern. And Raul Cantu as a punter. He's also a threat. If they might possibly go for it on 4th down, which they did do against Harlingen South, rolling the dice a little bit in that season opener. So we're hearing now the McAllen High School alma mater. We'll have the national anthem in just a moment. And we'll take a look at the starting lineups coming up here in just a moment. And starting tonight will be the same group as last week against Harlingen South. J.R. Cortez will be the quarterback. That man, Gunnar Henderson, will be starting at receiver. And, of course, we mentioned the other was Christian Solis and Dylan Martinez.
And Gunnar did have a good night. He had 6 catches and total yards and catches, and he didn't run the ball a lot. I'm looking to see if he gets more than 3 carries this time. He had 135 yards total offense for himself, not counting the special teams. So.
Yeah, there we see the starters tonight. Cortez, the junior, being their quarterback. Both quarterbacks opposing each other tonight are juniors. And then Gutierrez, Cantu, the third, are in the backfield. And then Solis, Hurtado, and Henderson are the receivers. And looking at the offensive line, they got 4 seniors and 1 sophomore. Nick Geddes, the sophomore, with the seniors Gayona, Salinas, Ochoa, and Sanders. Pretty beefy offensive line, too, as we look now at PSJA Memorial. And look at that, all juniors on their defensive line. Pettis, Ledesma, Garcia, and Lopez. And then taking a look at their 4-3 defense, the linebackers Escalante and Ramirez and Estrada, 2 of those are seniors, 1 a junior. They have 4 seniors on their starting defense, 3 on offense. And then there's the defensive backs, 2 seniors, a sophomore and a junior, Amado, Baquera, Cortez, and Martinez.
And the head coach for the PSJ Memorial Wolverines is none other than Michael Uribe, who, as you recall, Mark, had a very successful stint at Mercedes and then came over to Nicky Rowe. So where he came down here a couple of years ago. And this is his 3rd year with the PSJA Memorial Wolverines. So these juniors are the kids that started in his program. They're very familiar with his program. And that's why I believe that's why he's depending a lot on his juniors.
Yeah, a very young lineup for PSJA Memorial. So we take a look at the head coaches for PSJA Memorial, and Uribe is wearing the baseball cap. Is that right?
That is correct. That's Coach Michael Uribe, a good friend of mine, a good coach, very successful at Mercedes. Given the time, he will build that program at PSJA Memorial.
Yeah, PSJA Memorial competes in District 31 6A. The McAllen Bulldogs competing in District 30 6A. And the Bulldogs, as you said, against Harlingen South last week, they were competitive here and there, but gave up some big plays early, and they fell into a hole and then couldn't get all the way back out.
And that's why coaches tell you all the time that we have to play a complete game, not only on offense, defense, special teams, and keeping the penalties down and the turnovers down. That's just the way you're going to win football games.
Both teams 0-1 coming in. Mackay, as we mentioned, losing to Harlingen South in their opener. PSJA Memorial fell to La Jolla Juarez Lincoln, a team that's been in the playoffs the last couple of years. So they'll be a force to be reckoned with when Mackay meets them later on in the district schedule. Going to have the national anthem now. And you can see the color guard coming out, affiliated with the U.S. Army at McAllen High School. Under Mr. Raul Munguia, is their instructor at ROTC. There you see the names of our JROTC cadets. The right guard, Caitlin Cardenas. The left guard is Jacob Quintanilla. Carrying the U.S. flag is Command Sergeant Major Sergio Salivar. And carrying the Texas flag, Second Lieutenant Ramiro Ferrer. Carrying the Mackay colors, Cadet Major Destiny Gonzalez.
You see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And a wonderful job there. The McAllen High School performing the Star-Spangled Banner here to get the game started here tonight. McAllen Bulldogs taking on the PSJA Memorial Wolverines in just a moment away from kickoff. And there you can see it coming to you from the United Mixed Pharmacy Field. And the Wolverines and the Bulldogs knocking heads tonight, the Wolverines, relatively young high school. I think they formed in the mid-1990s. They're PSJA's third high school. McAllen, the original high school in McAllen, opening up in 1909. So they've been around for over 100 years now. They're as old as the McAllen School District. So quite a tradition here for McAllen High School, and they'll be looking to go out there and get a win and even up their one-loss record here tonight, wearing their purple jerseys with the purple helmets and the gold bulldog on the side of the helmet, and of course the white pants. Last week they wore purple pants. This week they wore the white pants.
Glad you observed that. But let's expect, I think you can just have that sense that this Bulldog offense is going to come out and perform very well tonight. Look for big nights out of J.R. Cortez and Gunnar Henderson. And the offensive line did a good job, but it was tough going up the middle. It just couldn't open up those holes for Roy Gutierrez. And you know Roy Gutierrez will probably finish with 1,000 yards at the end of the year.
Here come the Wolverines running out there. Of course, they're wearing the white pants with the white jerseys, the green numerals. And if you're familiar with the Michigan Wolverines helmet design with that kind of like a claw going from the front to the back of the helmet, they have the same kind of design, only it's green instead of gold. The team's getting ready here for the opening kickoff. And this game kicking off a little bit early. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff because it is a school night. Playing on a Thursday night here.
Means that there's different rules and regulations about when this game will be coming out. Is it live? Is it?
Yep,
Can you
live
explain
right
that?
now as we look at Coach Kevin Brewer. You can watch this audio and video right here at McAllenISD.org. And of course, you'll be able to watch the game on demand once it's over. So you'll be able to see it anytime you like. You'll also be airing, of course, on our McAllen School channel, which is on some cable systems is channel 17, and others you'll find it on channel 95.
I'm taking a look at Coach Kevin. It reminds me that we know he graduated from Texas Christian University, TCU, and we will have Kalen Moore, a TCU graduate, is going to be coming, and we'll talk a little bit more about it during the game. We're having the big Let's Move McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff this Saturday here at the stadium at 8 in the morning. Open to all kids that want to come and participate.
And PSJA Memorial will be kicking off, and it's a squib kick picked up at the 28-yard line. No return for the Bulldogs' CJ Gonzalez. So the Bulldogs will have good field position at their own 28 as they move from right to left. So we're just underway here. And McAllen Bulldogs last week, they won the toss but deferred to the second half. And this week they end up receiving to start off the game. We had a flag on the kickoff, so that's what the holdup is.
It looks like it's going to be a PSJA Memorial, so we'll see if Coach Brewer wants them to kick it over, or is he going to take the ball? Looks like he's going to make them kick it over, Mark.
That's a little bit unusual. It's on kickoffs these days. Coaches
on the
more
kicking
inclined
team.
to.
Opposite. 5-yard penalty. Free kick.
Well, it might have been an easy decision, Mark, because whenever you have the speedster Gunnar Henderson with the opportunity, you always want to give him that shot, that speed. You want to take advantage, especially in open field.
So yeah, they do move it 5 yards back. They'll be kicking off from the 35-yard line now. And the kicker for PSJA Memorial be 56, Jose Hernandez. And this another squib kick to the same side of the field, picked up at the 18-yard line, run up ahead, across the 30, 35, and more. Now across the 45-yard line, they're going to count him out. That's actually having stepped out of bounds about the 43, but Coach Kevin Brewer making the right decision to push him back a little bit, and they end up with 15 more yards than they had previously.
And anytime you start your offense, Mark, at your own 42-yard line, more or less, I mean, that's a good sign there. You don't need that many first downs to get into the red zone and then try to take advantage by getting some points on the board early.
Kicking team. Offside.
Uh-oh.
5-yard penalty. Free kick.
Guess what, Mark?
Oh, my goodness.
The Bulldogs just repaid the favor but I don't think we have another kickoff. I think they just give them a 5-yard penalty from there. So
McAllen has elected to take option B, 5 yards from the end of the run.
well, actually, the penalty was on
It's on the Wolverines.
the Wolverines. I thought I heard the official, or maybe I'm not getting myself. I better get ready for this, Mark. Get my game face on.
Game face is on, yes. And in there, the new starting quarterback, we have number 9, Aaron Nixon, making his first start as he will give this ball to number 3, Gunnar Henderson. And we talked about how they use Henderson a lot in this offense. He'll line up as a receiver. He'll line up in the backfield. A lot of plays designed to take advantage of his speed.
And no surprise there.
A yard there.
No surprise there. Trying to get the speedster outside, trying to open it up because the Bulldogs do like to run up the middle with Roy Gutierrez.
So the sophomore, Aaron Nixon, is in there at quarterback. And he takes the shotgun snap, will keep this, and now runs straight ahead. Has room, crosses it midfield, down the 40, first down, and more. He's all the way down to the PSJA Memorial 30-yard line.
And you know, Mark, on that fake handoff, Gunnar Henderson gets a lot of attention. He won't get credit for the yardage. Aaron Nixon will, with a nice fake and a nice run. Good decision to go outside. But that fake drew a lot of defenders.
So big play there as they hand this off to Roy Gutierrez. And Gutierrez fights his way up to about the 26-yard line, a gain of about 4 on the play. But Mackay getting an early burst there from their quarterback, Aaron Nixon.
And Bulldog fans are going to remember that last week, Roy Gutierrez ran up the middle, and lots of times he didn't get much. But here, real quickly, he was able to gain at least 4 yards. But that's what happens when you try to open a running game to the outside.
Ray Lopez in there on the tackle along with the linebacker Juan Ledesma. Second down and 6. Nixon again fakes the handoff, will keep it. And this time, Far Memorial is able to bottle that up. A tackle on the play by Sal Ramirez, number 30. To bring up third down.
It's a good thing that Aaron Nixon did not give it to Roy Gutierrez, because he wouldn't have got much yardage. As it is, he only got 1 yard. It's 3rd and 3. And anytime you have a third and a short yardage situation, the playbook is wide open for running or passing.
But they need the 20-yard line to pick up a first down for 3 yards. And this errant snap goes to Gutierrez. Gutierrez has to improvise and is going to lose yardage back to the 25. So a broken play there. And the Bulldogs faced with a kicking situation here.
And let's not forget that Aaron Nixon is starting for the first time. He is just a sophomore. And that's a sophomore mistake that he did not keep his eye on the ball. Take a look at the replay, and Roy Gutierrez at the right place at the right time, and no surprise to us, Mark, Coach Kevin Brewer going for it on a 4th and 5.
Juan Ledesma, that last tackle, and they go 3 men in the backfield. They hand it off. I thought it was a fake, but the ball comes loose, and PSJA Memorial picks it up. They do hand it off, rolling to the left side on the 4th and 5. And the gamble doesn't pay off as there's a fumble on the play, and Jacob Amato is able to pick up the loose ball for PSJA Memorial. Would have been their football anyway, but they do pick up a few yards out of it.
That's correct, Mark. And this is what we talked about it at the beginning, the keys to the game. Positive things happening early on for the Bulldogs, and then this turnover, which was another one of our keys to the game.
So PSJA Memorial will start at their 39-yard line with 9:14 to play here in the first quarter. Still no score. First possession for the Wolverines. And here the quarterback Munoz is back to throw. And we talked about how he likes to throw the ball, and that's what they do in the very first play. And it's Walden who's the receiver and has good yardage. He'll bring up second down.
And that was a good point early on by you, Mark, when you said that you do know that the PSJA Wolverines do like to throw. Nothing fancy. We know Orlando Munoz has a good arm.
We see the replay there, and second down and 3 now. They're going the shotgun. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand this off up the middle, and has first down yardage, crossing into Bulldog territory to about the 48-yard line. That looks like Joaquin Sanchez, the running back. He's a junior. Back there, offensive backfield, entire offensive backfield is either juniors or sophomores except for Walden.
And no doubt about it, Joaquin Sanchez is a player to watch on offense.
First down for the Wolverines. They're in Mackay territory. They'll go shotgun again with Munoz in the gun. Walden goes in motion, now lines up as a wing on the left. They have 3 receivers left. Fake the handoff, flag goes down. They hit Walden in the flat, runs across the 40, has first down yardage up to about the Mackay 36, but there is a flag on the play. .8:12 to go here in the first quarter, no score.
Offside on the defense. That penalty has been declined. The result of the play, first down.
So you see referee Tony Guerrero's
That's Tony Guerrero.
emphatic call.
Yeah, did a good job of explaining the situation to us. Tony Guerrero, a long time and very successful football official in the Rio Grande Valley area.
So another first down there for PSJA Memorial is the quarterback keeper here, and he gets up about a yard to the 36, and it'll be second down and 9.
Coach Uribe mixing it up with all kinds of misdirection plays, throwing the ball, fakes all over the place. That puts the defense on their toes.
So we have second down and 9 play. Bulldogs with a 4-man front. Sanchez stays in the block. Here's a long pass on the right side. It's overthrown and intercepted. And back come the Bulldogs. This is Zach Garcia. And Garcia all the way up to about the 23-yard line. Zach Garcia with his first pick of the year.
That's an excellent job by Zach Garcia, safety, defensive back. Doing a good job of making sure that he did not overcommit. Quarterback Munoz slightly overthrew the ball, and Zach Garcia said thank you, interception, and also did a good job of getting some yardage after the interception.
Picked up a nice little block there too. Gave him about 15 extra yards after the interception. So Bulldogs back in business, their own 23. Henderson in motion, and there's a fumble in the backfield. Ball is still loose and picked up by Far Memorial, it appears. They've blown it dead, although the defender ran into the end zone, but they've blown that dead. It looks like it'll be PSJA Memorial ball, however, at about the 15-yard line. So just as the Bulldogs were trying to hand it off, there was a defender who came in there and slapped the ball away.
The defender deserves credit for causing that fumble. I'm not quite sure if he was the one that recovered the ball, but he's the reason. As we take a look at the replay, we're looking at number 23 on defense, did a good job of causing the fumble, and then number 33 was able to recover.
Yeah, 23 is Alexis Cortez, and then recovering the fumble, Juan Ledesma. First and 10 at the 15-yard line. Handoff, that's Sanchez, and Sanchez fights his way up to about the 10-yard line. So PSJA Memorial in business here, and the Mackay defense has to step up.
I mean, 2 turnovers so early, with 7 minutes to go, and the Bulldogs do not want to play this way. Those are the type of plays that we said positive things need to happen, and we'll see if the Wolverines can take advantage.
So second down 5, Munoz in the gun. And big hole there for Sanchez. Sanchez hit at the 5, has the first down as he turns his way to the 4-yard line. So it'll be first and goal.
You know, the Bulldogs did a good job of preventing, taking care of the first turnover, stopping the Wolverines. So we'll see what happens now on a first and goal at the 4-yard line.
And there you see the receivers, backs and receivers there. You can see it's very young, only one senior in that group. And looking at the offensive line there, they have some more experience as they're all juniors and sophomores. Get you the defense in just a moment. First and goal for PSJA Memorial, 6:19 to go here in the first quarter. There's a timeout on the field.
On PSJA Memorial.
Timeout called by the Wolverines as we look at the defensive line there for the Bulldogs. Three seniors and a junior in Rodriguez, Mendez, Rivera, and Brewer. There are linebackers in the 4-3 front. They've got three seniors, Moya, Garcia, and Murillo. Murillo had a big game against the Harlingen South Hawks. The secondary, they have Bramble, Chiquito. Chiquito has scored a touchdown on the scoop and score last week. Zach Garcia with an early interception here tonight. And Shamir Mallard, the sophomore, also in that defensive backfield. So PSJA Memorial now with a first and goal from the Bulldog 4-yard line following that timeout called by the offense. We go shotgun, full house backfield. Going to hand this off tackle right side. He's in there for the touchdown, and that is their running back, Joaquin Sanchez. He's their main warhorse in the backfield, and he churns his way in for that touchdown there. Superb blocking there by the offensive line.
All of them on the right side. Right tackle, guard, center.
Drive went 3 plays, 15 yards. Here's the extra point try. The snap is there and is good by Roberto Valderrama. And the score, Wolverines 7, Bulldogs nothing. 6:14 to play in the first quarter. We'll leave you with another look at the touchdowns. We go to break. You're watching Football Night in McAllen. Here's Sanchez with a 4-yard run.
Get back to the basics of car buying at Bogus. With more selection, real deals, respect for your time, and a fair price up front. Come see why it's better at Bogus. In Harlingen, in McAllen, and always at bogusford.com.
Got a festive crowd here at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. Wolverines lead early. The Bulldog faithful still keeping their spirits up high. You see the kickoff here. Yeah, the kickoff here is another squid kick like we saw earlier. That's by Hernandez. This one goes out of bounds, though. And so we'll see where they spot this. There's the Smack Eye Steppers.
And I'd like to do a shout out to senior Brianna Ramos, a Mackay stepper. I've been her mentor since her freshman year.
Option C, 5 yards and a re-kick.
You know, getting back to Brianna, Mark, something we talked about last time. Not only is she a stepper, she's also on the Mackay Mariachi group that has won, what, 3-4 state titles in a row?
Yeah, 4 state titles.
So I can just imagine her jacket with those patches, all kinds of patches on her jacket. Probably doesn't have enough room on that jacket. Maybe she needs 2 jackets. One for the steppers and one for the Mackay Mariachi.
So ball moved back to the 35. Here's Hernandez's kick, and this another squid kick to his right side, picked up by the Bulldogs at the 25-yard line. Up ahead to the 35 is Dylan Martinez, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the, looks like the 37-yard line. So very good field position here for the Bulldogs for the second possession in a row.
Well, J.R. Cortez is coming into the game.
Actually make this their second of 3 possessions.
J.R. played all the game last time, as Aaron Nixon was having a little problems with communicating with the running backs.
Yeah, now we see J.R. Cortez back in there at quarterback, and he has trouble handling the football. Gutierrez picks it up, but he's hit in the backfield and brought down by Ledesma. And the Bulldogs seem to be having some problems hanging on to the football.
And you know, it's interesting, I don't know how many times that probably happens in practice, but when you get into a game situation, sometimes the quarterback is too much in a hurry and forgets to catch the ball before he gives a handoff.
So Coach Brewer alternating quarterbacks, and this Cortez, his first pass is caught. They pick up most of the lost yardage back. It was caught by Aaron Nixon, so Nixon not out of the lineup entirely. He was playing at quarterback on the first couple of series, but now is in there as a receiver. And it'll be 3rd down and 11.
Nothing fancy about that play. A quick throw.
Make that 3rd and 10. And here goes Cortez. Has time. Has Gutierrez on the right side, and a very good open field tackle made by the PSJA Wolverines. There was a flag down. Anthony Escalante with the open field tackle on Gutierrez.
I was talking to Coach Oribe before the game, and he did say that the strength of his defense is in the linebackers. So this is going to be now a 4th and 11. The Bulldogs have to punt away. The Wolverines should get good field position.
Yeah, Raul Cantu is in there to punt. No rush. And the officials blow it dead, however.
Dead ball. Ball start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the 4th down.
So first penalty on the Bulldogs. Now move it back 5 yards, and now Cantu will kick it again. 4:24 to go here in the first quarter. Wolverines lead at 7-0. They picked up a fumble recovery at the 15-yard line, and 3 plays later were able to take it in. And that's the difference right now. As we see Cantu's punt. This one a little bit short, but takes a big Bulldog bounce, and there won't be a return. And the Bulldogs are going to kill this one all the way back at the Wolverine 29-yard line. So at 4:06, the teams will change possessions.
I'm sure offensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, Bob Bechtel, is going to have a serious discussion with his offense, hurting themselves with turnovers and muffles. And that's not the offense they had last week. There's Coach Bechtel.
Talking to his offense there. Defense out on the field right now. And there's the quarterback, Orlando Munoz, a junior for the Wolverines. They put a man in motion as they're going to hand this off at the middle to Sanchez. Sanchez hit just as he crosses the line of scrimmage and is pushed back.
Number 54.
Good play there. Is that 54 on the tackle, Antonio Rodriguez?
Senior.
Looks like 56 was in there too, the linebacker Murillo. So it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Yeah, Murillo got the first hit in there. And then in came Rodriguez. 3.5 to play in the first quarter. With a man in motion, that's Oviedo. We're going to hand this off to Sanchez, off tackle left side. And he is able to cross the 35 up to about the 36, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Trying to stop the running game, which will open up the passing game, is what Coach Oribe is trying to do for the Wolverines.
Murillo was in there on the tackle once again, along with number 70, the defensive lineman, Malachi Danes. Here on 3rd down, they pass this over to the side for Walden, who makes a brilliant catch. Is able to squeeze out of bounds at about the 42. Looks like he has enough for the 1st down.
A very safe route. Didn't need many yards. And you can tell anytime a quarterback can roll out and put the ball right where it needs to be, right between the numbers, by Orlando Munoz, and a good catch.
Chiquito defending on the play. And PSJA Memorial keeping the drive alive. You're going to spot this actually at the 43-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side. You're going to fake the handoff, and Sanchez is going to keep it, or Munoz rather is going to keep it. And Munoz crosses line of scrimmage, picks up only a couple of yards. It looks like the ball may have come loose. Bulldogs appear to have it. I don't see an official signal just yet. They may have ruled him down by contact.
They did rule him down. A good defensive play by Jackson Helmkamp.
So they're going to, make him down by contact after a 5-yard gain. And they're going to hand this off now to Sanchez. Sanchez, big hole up the middle into the secondary. First down and more, all the way down to the Bulldog 39-yard line. Pickup 14 yards.
And that's a dream for any running back any time. And we're going to go back to the fumble situation. Mark, let's take a look at it.
Oh, that looked like a fumble.
It almost looked like a fumble. The question is, was his forward progress stopped?
That's true. There may have been a whistle, but it did look like the ball came out certainly before Munoz was down. And a little bit of a break there for the Wolverines. Here they go with a 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 39. Handoff Sanchez. Sanchez bounces it outside, is hit by Chiquito, and he's still going. Now 4 Bulldogs are around him. Finally, they wrestle him down at about the 28-yard line, but
and
not
Sanchez
before he picks up the first down.
Showing why he's a very good running back, good instincts. Play was up the middle, decided to go to the outside mark. But anytime you need 4 or 5 defenders to bring you down, that shows you how strong Joaquin Sanchez is.
You take a look at that replay. You can see a number of Bulldogs had a shot at him here, but he just keeps on turning those legs. 4 or 5 Bulldogs finally bring him down.
And he also protected the football.
So 1st and 10, the Bulldog 28. Hand this off again. This time nowhere to go for Sanchez. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down by Moses Mendez.
All right, Mark, if I'm a coach, 2nd and 10, I am looking for a pass play.
Well, Walden has 2 catches so far. I think Sanchez has the other one.
They are in the spread offense.
Walden right now, the lone receiver to the bottom of the screen. Munoz going to roll out to his left, throw left. Man is open, that's Oviedo. Caught, has the first down at about the 14-yard line.
And a good read by Orlando Munoz. And once again, Orlando Munoz, not only can he roll out to the left, he can also roll out to the right, which is the hardest throw for any quarterback to make when you're going away from your throwing motion.
Yeah, right-handed quarterback running to his left. You have to kind of open up your body in an awkward fashion to throw the pass.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
Yep, there we've reached the end of the first quarter. The score, the Wolverines 7, the Bulldogs nothing. Wolverines knocking on the door once again, however. We're going to take a break. And after 1, 7-0 our score. You're watching Football Night in McAllen. McAllen ISD is the heartbeat of the community. McAllen ISD, excellent since 1908. And back here on Football Night in McAllen, I'm Mark May with Mario Reyna. The Wolverines lead the Bulldogs 7-0 as we start the second quarter. We see the Mac High Steppers in action. They are every home game. Well, every game, actually. They go on the road, too. And here go the Wolverines with a quick shovel pass. This is Walden. Walden around the left side is hit at about the 6-yard line before he's forced back.
And this one's coming back, Mark. As much as we talk about Joaquin Sanchez, I think they caught him holding.
Also got one of the ball carriers coming up kind of gimpy there. So we see Walden on the carry. It's originally grabbed by Jack Bramble before some teammates came in.
Oh no, sorry to Joaquin Sanchez, but I thought he was holding, but the penalty went to somebody else.
That'll be the 3rd penalty on the Wolverines.
And it's a 1st and 74 as per the scoreboard. Okay, now they corrected it to 1st and 10.
1st and 74, that would be brutal.
And there's Tony Joaquin Guerrero, referee, the Texas Association of Sports Officials, Rio Grande Valley chapter.
So 10-yard penalty. And it'll be 1st and 20. It's a handoff to Sanchez up the middle. Has some room. The ball squirts out. Ball squirts out, and I think the Bulldogs may have it.
Recovered by the Bulldogs.
Indeed they do. It'll be Bulldog football. And what a play there by Daniel Chiquito. And he's a name we've called. He was a hero last week against Harlingen South. And now here he is coming up big again.
Chiquito seems to have a good nose for the football. One of those players that just comes with those intangibles that they seem to know where to be at the right time, the right place at the right time.
So the Bulldogs will start off at their 12-yard line. They dodge a bullet there. Both teams have turned it over twice here in this game so far. Early in here in the second quarter, they hand this off on 1st down, and making his way back to the line of scrimmage is Roy Gutierrez.
Here's a fumble mark.
Can't see exactly when the ball came out, but it squirts loose. And Chiquito in there to fall on it. 3 of his teammates around him to protect him. You know, sometimes they fight in those scrums trying to get the ball away, even after it's mown dead. Here on 2nd down, catch by Nixon, trying to break it open. Gets around the 20-yard line, is close to a 1st down. So Nixon, quite the athlete.
Absolutely.
Here, we've seen his versatility. I mean, he's quite a baseball player too, Nixon is.
I understand he's already committed to the University of Texas.
So 11 yards on that carry. And that is indeed a Bulldog 1st down. Pass caught by Nixon. Now breaks it outside, picks up a block. Flag goes down as he goes out of bounds. One of the officials knocked down off his feet as well, as Nixon goes out at about the 29-yard line, but this may be coming back.
I don't think Coach Brewer agrees with this play or the penalty. He agrees with the play, but not the penalty. But let's give credit to Aaron Nixon with a nice catch and a nice move. As we take a look at the replay, Mark, it's a push in the back by one of the Bulldog offensive players.
We have block in the back by the offensive team. Be a 10-yard penalty, and we'll repeat the down.
The Bulldogs with their 2nd penalty here tonight.
And we have a delay in the game. We have an injured player that's being attended to.
At 10:47 left here in the 1st half, and Wolverines still on top 7-0. As we take a look at the replay,
you can see the push from the back.
And you saw the penalty there, the shove in the back. Springing Nixon around the outside. That comes back. Eventually pushed out of bounds there by 34 Escalante. So they move the ball back to the 13-yard line. Bring up 1st and 14. As from the pocket, Cortez throws one out there, and it's incomplete, intended for Martinez. It's his first incompletion of the game. They'll bring up 2nd down and long.
And you know, that's exactly what the defense for the Wolverines wants. They want the Bulldogs to prove themselves by throwing the ball.
That's what they call a medicine ball. What a medicine ball is, that's the kind of ball that you need medicine after you catch it. Usually one caught in traffic. And this is Nixon again, has nowhere to go as he caught this one in the flat. Or excuse me, Gunnar Henderson with his first catch. But Henderson with nowhere to go. And this will bring up 3rd down.
Linebacker for the Wolverines, making it difficult for the Bulldog offense.
The Bulldogs pick up 1 yard, but it's still 3rd and 19. As Cortez now chased out of the pocket, he's wrapped up and gets rid of the ball, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 20-yard line and run back 4 yards to the 16. It was picked off by Escalante, the linebacker, And that was one of the strengths you talked about, Mario, earlier,
Yep.
that their linebacker core is pretty solid.
It's the second time Escalante makes a good play. And that's one of those, both quarterbacks for the Bulldogs are struggling, but anytime I talk about this, Mark, on the pressure there by number 61, doing a great job, which is Gabriel Perez should actually be the one giving credit for that intercepted, because he rushed J.R. Cortez. Anytime a quarterback is throwing with somebody on their back, you're looking for trouble.
Yeah, it was good pressure by the defensive line. And here on 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line, they flip this ball to Oviedo. Oviedo crosses to about the 14, pick up of 2. And boy, 3 turnovers on these Bulldogs here in this first half of play. We talked about turnovers, especially early turnovers, being one of your keys, Mario. And the only thing that's kind of offset it is that the Wolverines have 2 turnovers themselves.
And you can see why both teams have had problems winning. They hurt themselves.
So 2nd down and 8. They hand this off in the backfield and gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's number 6, Roel Martinez, a senior running back, his first carry. And bring up 3rd and long.
And the Bulldogs can hold here. Got to give credit to that Bulldog defense, trying to overcome 3 turnovers.
So 3rd down and 8. Munoz in the gun. Martinez in the backfield with him. The pistol. Munoz to throw, and it's caught near the 1st down marker. Now still fighting his way up inside the 5-yard line. Has the 1st down.
Wow.
It'll be 1st and goal for PSJA Memorial. Boy, they may not have had the 1st down on the reception, but on yards after the catch, they're able to pick it up.
The senior, Michael Walden. That is just what you say, somebody that's the definition of determined. He should get a 1st down, but there's a flag again, Mark.
Yeah, this is near the end of the play. So we'll see what this is about. Possibly maybe a face mask or something down there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. We have a taunting violation on number 12. It'll be a 15-yard penalty, and we have 1st down.
You know, Mark, I saw that play, and I was wondering if that's what they were going to call, because if we look at the replay, they're not going to allow this. He did a tremendous job. I know he got excited, so give him credit. But here's where he gets up, and then he's looking at him, and then he throws the ball at him, and you're not going to be able to do that. That's a great call, Mark, because
you see his reaction there too.
He knew, and that's why when we saw the video, we saw Coach Arriba that he just had this face of saying, not happy. You just got a 1st down for us, and now, because of the type of penalty it is,
we have 1st
now
and
it's
goal.
a
1st and goal.
1st and goal, and the ball's at the 19.
Yeah, 15-yard penalty. They had 1st and goal. Now it's 1st and goal from the 19 for the unsportsmanlike conduct. They flip this to Walden again, and Walden all the way up to hit at the 15 and spins his way to about the 13-yard line.
And you know, Mark, this is what Coach Uribe does. He knows that Walden just got a penalty, and he gives him the ball back just to get his head straight and get his mind off of the penalty. You got to carry the ball. You still have a football game, and that's a mark of a good coach right there.
Good tackle by Antonio Rodriguez there for McAllen. And 2nd and goal now from the 14-yard line. Munoz rolls out right and hits Walden, guarded by Chiquito. And it's going to be completed about the 9-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from there.
Well, we know that's about the 4th or 5th time that Orlando Munoz is using his ability to throw on the run. And that's a big advantage for an offense. It gets that defense on their toes because they really can't commit because he'll throw the ball.
So 3rd down and goal now from the 9-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 left, and a fumble. Munoz can't pick it up in time and has to just fall on it. And it'll be a 4th down as they lose yardage back to the 15-yard line, and credited there with the I don't know if he'd get credit for a sack or not, but that was Antonio Rodriguez coming in there.
Tony Rodriguez at the right place. And you know, Mark, what's going on with quarterbacks? That's like the 4th or 5th time that the ball has been just not, it's been mishandled. So it's a 4th and 15 mark. We don't see them setting up for a field goal.
Well, looks like they're going to go for it here. 4th and goal. And Munoz rolls out right, throws it for the end zone. 2 men down there, but it's incomplete. Both men covered well. And the Bulldogs hold firm and force a turnover on downs.
Huge stop by the Bulldog defense, who has been the highlight for the Bulldogs so far, because they have been able to stop the Wolverines. They've had 3 turnovers, and yet only 7 points. As we take a look at the replay, almost looks like he was throwing it away. Nobody, good coverage.
Chiquito, one of those down there defending. So 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 15-yard line. Bulldogs get the turnover on downs. Here's Gutierrez with some determined running. And he crosses the 20-yard line up to close to the 22.
Hard running by Gutierrez. We know he's a good running back. Got 7 tough yards on that right side of the offensive line for the Bulldogs.
They just fought off that first tackle like the defender was made of paper mache. 6:15 and counting. Here's on the 2nd down and short. Gutierrez again into the secondary. 1st down, crosses the 30, across the 35 to about the 37-yard line before he's brought down by 23, Alexis Cortez.
And that's a Roy Gutierrez we're used to. Give him an opportunity, and he'll get you the yards. I'm wondering if Gutierrez was thinking, finally I have an opportunity to be 7 or 8 yards downfield before contact.
Yeah, 15-yard pickup on that play. Now expecting to pass. PSJA Memorial with 3 down linemen. It's a draw play, though, to Cantu, and Cantu has big yardage. He's into the secondary. He has a 1st down, and he's up to about the 49-yard line.
And that's what a good defense does for you, Mark. It tries to get you excited, and the offense is excited. Thanks to the Bulldog defense. Nothing fancy, just straight up the middle. Hard running by Raul Cantu III.
So Bulldogs with 3 receivers right. They're going to run this again, and why not? Oh, no, they fake it and pass it. It's Gunnar Henderson, and he has a lot of room. And he uses that speed down the sideline, and he scores. A brilliant call and brilliant execution by the Bulldogs as they go 51 yards for the touchdown. And Henderson has his 3rd touchdown of the year.
And we know that was a great play, Mark, but let's go back and let's give credit to the Bulldog defense. Let's not forget about them. Those stops, as you look at Coach Bechtel giving some chest bumps. Something good happening for the Bulldogs thanks to the Bulldog defense.
There's the kick by Sam Maldonado is up and good. And with 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play before halftime, we're tied. It's PSJA Memorial 7, the McAllen Bulldogs 7. Let's take another look at that electrifying touchdown. A brilliant play-action fake by Cortez. And then threw it over to Henderson, who caught a great block over there, too. And then look at this speed as he just motors by the lone defender there who had a shot at him. And Henderson in for a 51-yard score. We're going to take a break. Our game is tied at 7. You're watching Football Night in McAllen.
One of the big advantages of having your child come to McAllen School District is they have a registered nurse at each and every campus. Our registered nurses are readily available for all our students, and our focus is on your child's success.
And we're back here on Football Night at McAllen. Maldonado's kickoff is high, a little bit short, fielded about the 9-yard line. Room up ahead across the 20, breaks a tackle across the 30, and down at about the 32-yard line. A nice return there by the running back, number 25, Joaquin Sanchez.
And Trace Gagne on the tackle, a sophomore.
Well, that Bulldogs scoring drive, Mario, went 85 yards in just 4 plays.
Wow.
The last one, a 51-yard catch and run by Gunnar Henderson.
And that's what happens when you give him that opportunity we're talking about, Mark. Short passes to him, a couple of handoffs here and there, because he has that breakaway speed.
There you see Henderson there, still out of breath, I'm sure, after that 51-yard sprint for the touchdown. We're all tied here at 7. Let the crowd back into it. There's a handoff to Sanchez, and Sanchez has nowhere to go, and the Bulldog defense is fired up.
Very well. They're playing well, and they're the ones that got the momentum back on the Bulldog side. You know, Mark, if they would have made no stops, they could have been down 21-0. It's demoralizing, but because they were able to hang in there, make some stops, keep the game close, and finally give the opportunity to the Bulldog offense to get something going.
Malachi Damas on the last tackle. Munoz rolling out right on 2nd and 10, and this one's overthrown and incomplete.
Who was
intended
there?
For Walden, and
Chiquito.
Chiquito there defending on the play.
So far, the first 2 games, junior defensive back Daniel Chiquito doing the right things. And Chiquito is defending Warren, so just keep an eye on that matchup.
And we saw him a little bit on offense too last week, so you might see that wrinkle again here tonight. Well, on 3rd down and 10. Munoz going to throw. And this is too high. It looks like it was intended for Walden. And it's going to be incomplete. Chiquito again guarding on that play, and it's going to force a punt. And so the momentum completely shifted
Absolutely.
now in favor of the Bulldogs.
Chiquito playing a great game. Coach waiting on the sideline. Coach Jones.
Gunnar Henderson there back to receive the punt. Now the quarterback Munoz is still in there. He is also their punter.
I'd like to recognize the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs.
Of the half.
He's actually not on the field, Mark. He's up here in the press box because his defense is doing a great job. And that's Coach Tracy Hamilton, defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs.
They have a timeout on the field. They're doing the dance cam in the stands. They're on this 4th down and 10. 4:43 to play here before halftime. We're tied at 7.
And you know, Mark, sometimes I catch myself not looking at the game because I'm looking at the scoreboard. A lot of exciting things that are happening. How big is that scoreboard, Mark?
Oh, the scoreboard, have a 65-foot scoreboard here in the stadium. You can see it there on the left side of your screen. And it's just massive.
Right,
I mean, that's
massive.
looking at from the opposite side of the field.
And you know, last year we had Keith Davis from the New York Giants that came here and he said, "What is this, a college football field?" Very impressed with the field here.
So on 4th down, Munoz acts like he's going to run for it, but he does punt the football. Fair catch called for. It hits the helmet of a defender.
There you go.
One of the PSJA Memorial players, and then Fall Memorial falls on it. There's a flag down for illegal touching.
Right. And Mark, I'm proud of myself. I'm not a football official, and I just guessed that there should be a penalty on that. Because the Bulldog did signal for a fair catch and wasn't given that opportunity. Do you know how many yards?
Legal touch, I believe, is 5 yards.
5 yards is what it would be my guess.
So 4.5 to go here before halftime. Bulldogs have 2 timeouts to work with.
Personal foul. KCI kick, catch, interference. 15-yard penalty.
15 yards,
Automatic.
Mark. That's a new one on me.
1st down.
15 yards for interference with the attempt to catch the football.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Against the Wolverines, ball will be spotted.
Okay, with the Bulldogs offense, the momentum is on their side. Let's see what they can do with it with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the 2nd quarter.
So Bulldogs starting at the 49-yard line as the ball comes loose on 1st down, and all Cortez can do is fall on it.
What is going on with that ball? That's almost like a fumble, Mark. Anytime you lose 6 yards.
Yeah, they lose, second down and 16. Here's Cortez, going to hit Gunnar Henderson, trying to get into the open field, dodges 2 tacklers, and then dives his way forward up to the 49-yard line. And it's going to bring third down and 12.
And it's a hurry-up offense.
So Cortez, plenty of time to throw now, flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked.
Big sack.
Good sack there by
94.
Yeah, Ray Lopez.
Raymond Lopez. And it's a good thing that he was able to get that sack, Mark, because it looked like J.R. Cortez was going to have an open field. The Bulldogs going for it. 4th and 12. No, they're not. Well, maybe they are, Mark.
They give Cortez credit back to the line of scrimmage. So, but it does bring up 4th down and 12. Cantu back there in the punt formation, but they've got their quarterback as the gunner. They snap it to the punter. This ball takes a bounce at the 10, goes into the end zone for a touchback. So a bit of a bad break there for the Bulldogs. They looked like they had a chance to down that one inside the 10-yard line. But the punt will be coming out to the 20 for PSJA Memorial, who still has 2 timeouts to work with. 2:53 to go here before halftime. We're all tied up at 7.
A nice punt by Raul Cantu. He was aiming for the sideline. And I was observing him, and he was not happy that the ball went into the end zone.
There we see senior defensive end Antonio Rodriguez lined up way outside as Munoz wants to run this one, bootleg to the right. Tries to turn that corner and does to about the 22-yard line.
Good job by about 4 or 5 Bulldogs.
They'll need to be a little less conservative now. The clock is a bit of a factor. We might see PSJA Memorial air it out a little bit more here in the next couple of plays. And there we see the defender, number 6, Jack Bramble, at his cornerback spot. They're going to throw to Bramble's side, and a great open field tackle there. Wow, nice play there.
That's the way you got to do it. Wrap them up.
I think that was Jackson Helmkamp. Second time we've called his name tonight.
Yes.
Timeout. Quick
timeout for the Bulldogs.
Their second of the half.
They got one more timeout with 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Look at that tackle, Mark.
So the Bulldogs stopping the clock here, thinking they're going to get the ball back. And yeah, good play there by Helmkamp.
Everybody congratulating him. They should.
Make a freaking play. You understand me? We're in blue cover. You're in nickel. Make a play.
The shoulder pad came out there. I wonder if somebody's going to fix that for him. So we're in the timeout. So all tied up at 7. PSJA Memorial facing a third down. They are 2 for 4 on third downs here this evening. And PSJA Memorial facing a third down and 7. So they'll come out with a spread formation, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 man in the backfield. That's Sanchez along with Munoz. Munoz going to roll out to his right. He's going to throw. Man is wide open. It's caught for a first down.
And that's a big play, Mark, because that's going to prevent the Bulldogs from getting the ball back. Juan Ovidio. So that's a big play because if they would have dropped the ball, the Bulldogs would have gotten good field position with about 1 minute 55 seconds to go. So good play by the Wolverine offense. Good throw.
Picked up 14 yards on third down and 7. They hand this off to Sanchez. He's got nowhere to go. Just a short gain. So he was hit initially by Luis Holandes. Then a couple of other Bulldogs came in there and brought him down. Bring up second down and clock moving now at 1 minute and 30 to go before halftime. Pickup of only 1 on that play. Snap to Munoz, 4-man rush. Throws over the middle, and Oviedo catches it, is immediately hit and put down by 62 Jordan Lopez. Great hit by the sophomore linebacker.
That number 52, Mark, did you get that?
Timeout
Trace
on McAllen.
Gagnon.
That's their third and final timeout
Oh, you're right.
of the first half.
Trace Gagnon got in my way. I should not ever doubt you again, Mark. Jordan Lopez, the sophomore linebacker. I don't want to get a phone call by the parents of Jordan Lopez saying, how come you're giving credit to somebody else?
3 yards on that pickup, by the way, so it brings up a 3rd down and 7. And clock is stopped at 1:10. The Bulldogs have used their last timeout. So if they get a stop here, they can get the ball back, probably deep in their own territory with no timeouts remaining and about a minute on the clock. Score tied at 7. Hope you're enjoying our live webcast of this game on McAllenisd.org. We're allowed to bring it to you live because UIL rules allow that on a Thursday night. As on 3rd and 7, this is thrown. It looks like it's picked off. That's Chiquito, called his name before, running it back across the 40 and then up to about the 44-yard line. So the Bulldog defense produces the 3rd turnover of the evening. And the Bulldogs will have the football in a lot better field position than what I was anticipating because I thought they were going to force a punt. And instead, they get an interception on the deep throw. And Chiquito has set up the offense in good field position at the 44-yard line in Bulldog territory.
What a catch, Mark. He actually made a fabulous catch. I'd stop throwing to the area wherever Chiquito's at.
58 seconds left in the half. Cortez forced out of the pocket, tries to run through the open field and is brought down. Tackle made there by Frank Estrada, the senior linebacker. And the Bulldogs can't stop the clock. It's running at 40 seconds now as they quickly snap it again on 2nd down. Cortez to throw, and this is knocked away and incomplete, but there is a flag down on the play.
It looked like they were on top of the back.
Looked like it was intended for Christian Solis. So we'll see what the flag is about.
It's definitely pass interference, and we know that there'll be 34 seconds to go. We know J.R. Cortez has a strong arm. He had like a 35-yard touchdown to the end zone last
Defensive
week.
pass interference on number 32. Be a spot foul, automatic, first down.
It's a spot foul, which means it was less than 15 yards. It was actually going to be a net gain of 8 yards. So we take a look at the replay there. Oh, and this goes incomplete. They were trying to hit Nixon deep. It was an automatic first down on that previous play after the penalty. So this is now 2nd down and 10. Clock stops at 29 seconds left.
You know, the Bulldogs don't have any timeouts, Mark, but anytime you get a first down, the clock stops, or they have to get a play that can get someone out of bounds.
Gunnar Henderson in motion. They fake to him, going to throw it over the middle. It's caught there at the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down, so it'll stop the clock momentarily.
It's time to get up there quickly, snap, and throw it on the floor. There you go.
And that's what they do. They clock it. Ryan Hetler there on the catch.
I didn't get that word. How do you call it? Clock it?
Yeah, they clock it.
How do you spell that word?
Just like a clock, C-L-O-C-K.
Okay, so why do they call it clock it?
Well, because it stops the clock.
Thank you, sir.
They should call it maybe unclocking, because it's stopping, not starting.
Be careful here. You better get somebody on Gunnar Henderson.
So let's see what they do here. Henderson's lined up in the slot on the left side. He's running deep as Cortez is forced out of the pocket. So the pass rush doesn't allow Cortez enough time to find, say, like a Henderson deep. And he stopped short of the first down with under 10 seconds.
Inexperienced quarterback right there.
And he clocks it one more time. That'll stop it with 3 seconds left to bring up 4th down, which is irrelevant now. It's the time for one last play here in the first half.
And J.R. Cortez is really in his first year starting quarterback, so that's something they'll talk about in practice. In that situation, he has to throw the ball out of bounds. And that way, the clock will stop, and gives himself maybe 2 or 3 plays. But he'll get that. He won't do that next time. So let's go ahead and look out for Gunnar Henderson or Aaron Nixon.
Now, a field goal attempt from here would be about 45 yards, so they're going to go for it here on 4th down. They're going to throw it up for the end zone. 2 men down there, and it's overthrown and incomplete. Would have been out of the back of the end zone anyway had it been caught. Christian Solis and Gunnar Henderson were down there in the right corner of the end zone, but pass incomplete, and we are at the half. So our score at halftime is PSJA Memorial 7 and the McAllen Bulldogs 7. Going to have the Wolverines marching bands and the Bulldogs marching bands coming up here at halftime. To enjoy that, we'll have the halftime stats for you as we take a look at some of the first half highlights here. There we saw the touchdown by Sanchez from 4 yards out that put PSJA Memorial on the board. An early interception by PSJA Memorial allowed them to threaten again, but the Bulldog defense was able to hold firm, producing 3 first half turnovers. Teams combined for 6 turnovers in the first half. And there we see Henderson on a short pass but a long run, went 51 yards. Most spectacular play of the first half, and the score is tied at 7-7. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with our marching band entertainment. You're watching Football Night in McAllen.
Your child is family. Embraced with academic rigor, life skills, and enrichment, our students earn college credit, associate's degrees, licenses and certifications, and advanced diplomas. McAllen ISD.
Congratulations. Oh, that is an outstanding job. The 2017-2018 officers are Junior Lieutenant Rebecca Ramirez, Junior Lieutenant Giselle Lopez, Junior Second Captain Alyssa Gonzalez, Senior First Captain Marisa Espinosa, and Senior Major Karina Tazares. The officers would like to recognize the following Dazzler for their dedication, enthusiasm, energy, and determination. Congratulations to our Dazzler of the Week, Natalie Maldonado. Tonight, the Dazzlers will perform a pom routine to the hit song Born This Way. the award-winning PSJA Memorial Garfield. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2017-2018 PSJA Early College High School Mighty Green Band. Color guard captain, Bartolome Lopez and Alex Cavaco. Section individuals with exceptional dedication in our marching show and are designated with the green plume. Section of the week is Frank Morrison. Upper class of the week is Giovanni Rosa. Freshman of the week is Hugo Garza. And color guard of the week is Oriana Gamboa. Apollo 13 is the ill-fated mission to the United States from the Kennedy Space Center to Florida. But the lunar landing was aborted after an oxygen tank exploded 2 days later. Despite great hardship caused by limited power, the crew returned safely to Earth 6 days after the launch. But it began with a journey 200,000 miles to disaster. Marching Band. The band of the direction of Stephen Rumley, Gordon Salas, Indiana Volta. The section of the week is the Bulldogs. Performing first tonight under the direction of Rachel Castillo and assistant director please welcome to the field the 2017 National Strippers. Officers to the strippers are Captain Susan Casabata, Coach into the International All-Star, Miss Showtime, Miss High Kick, and Miss Wolverines. First Lieutenant Senior Diana Easton, Showtime, International All-Star. Second Lieutenant Senior Maddie Bodo, Showtime, International All-Star. And the stepper of the week is Alexa Gomez. Before you run away and have time, sit back and enjoy that nighttime dance when this is Runaway Baby. Young nighttime stepper. Now, please put your hands together for the McAllen Bulldogs Marching Band. Black High Band, Jason John, John goes to the third. Bobby Salazar, Angela Kiba, Oscar Medina, and David Moreno. For the instruction of 7 people. Additional instructional staff include AJ Trejo, Antonio Del Bosque, and Christopher Prado. Music arrangements was provided by Eric Rapp, and color guard color group color guard captain. Okay, Bulldog fans, let's get on your feet for the traditional spelling of McAllen. Bulldogs are the best.
And here we are, just about set for the second half kickoff. Coming to you from United Mixed Pharmacy Field at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. Opened in 1976 and still the showcase for McAllen ISD athletics. And there you can see our halftime score, 7-7. We're tied between the Wolverines and the Bulldogs in this non-district action. About to start the third quarter. Before we do that, let's take a look at the little Bulldogs.
Oh.
You can see right there wearing their t-shirts. These are kids from the elementary schools that will eventually feed into Mackay. So these are future Mackay Bulldogs here. Class of about 2028 or so. And there they are about to run onto the field, and they're going to lead the Bulldog football team. They get to do this at every home game. This is a new tradition. It's a fundraiser for the quarterback club, and it's great for the kids, too, to get to run out on the field. So we'll see that in just a moment. And also take a look at our halftime stats first. We're tied at 7 first downs. You can see 9-5 in favor of the Wolverines. Rushing yards about the same. Passing a little bit favors the Bulldogs. Of course, they had that 51-yard burst to Gunnar Henderson for a touchdown. So total yards, Bulldogs up 142 to 122. Penalties, you had 6 on the Wolverines and 2 on the Bulldogs. And look at the turnovers. We talked about that being a key, but they kind of offset each other.
No doubt about that.
3 apiece, so it was an exciting first half. But we're all tied at 7. Let's take a look at the little Bulldogs running onto the field now. Running all the way across the field.
Sign them up. Sign them up. Look at the smiles on this kid, Mark.
Future track stars and football players, I'm sure.
And Mark, we want to give all the kids an opportunity to come and experience the track, because tell us about the event that's going to happen here on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, September the 9th is the 4th annual McAllen Kids Marathon Kickoff. And the Kids Marathon Kickoff will be at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., only last about an hour. Kids in kindergarten through 8th grade are invited. They'll get to run on the track, and they'll also hear from a couple of keynote speakers. Former NFL player in Keith Davis played for the New York Giants and the USC Trojans, won a Rose Bowl with them, and then also Kalen Moore, who currently plays football for the TCU Horned Frogs. And I'm sure Coach Kevin Brewer will be excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
And Moore also a Rhodes Scholar, so he's quite eloquent, and came up from poverty and everything like that. There you see our graphic on it. You can see the keynote speakers' pictures there on the lower right part of your screen. And thank all the sponsors for that. The Monitor, the school district teamed up with the City of McAllen, Rio Grande Regional Hospital, Telemundo, also the United Healthcare, UTRGV, and Texas A&M Healthy South Texas, all helping making that possible. So here's Sam Maldonado to kick it off as PSJA Memorial will start off with the offense first here in the second half as they field the ball at the goal line. But I think his knee may have touched down as he was trying to pick up the football, and he's going to be spotted down at the 1-yard line.
That's not the way you want to start. This is why, Mark, they struggle to win both clubs. When you keep making mistakes, penalties, that's just, everybody's going to tell you that that's just not the way you want to start the second half, because the adjustments are the key to the second half.
Yeah, as soon as your knee goes down, you're down. You don't have to be touched down like in the NFL. They use college football rules in the UIL. So down at the 1 yard line. And that's where PSJA Memorial will set up. So their worst starting field position of the evening. We're tied at 7, just starting the third quarter. PSJA Memorial moving right to left. And the Bulldog defense, I think, sensing an opportunity here. It looks like they're threatening blitz as a handoff goes to Sanchez. And Sanchez doesn't have much, maybe a yard, and bring up second down. So anyway, the public invited, parents, you can come, kids, you can come to that 4th annual McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff, which will be Saturday, September the 9th, 8 a.m. and right here at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium.
And both speakers are great speakers, Mark, and we also give them an opportunity to take selfies with them after the event.
Get a selfie taken with those football players. So second down and 9 as Munoz rolls out right, hits an open man, and that is number 3, Adrian Garza with his first catch. And I'll bring up third down.
And that's anytime you have your quarterback throwing from the end zone, Mark, that means you have a lot of confidence by the coach for Orlando Munoz. It was a safe pass to see if it could open up some opportunities, but it did not happen. Good defensive play by the Bulldogs.
So third down and 7. Munoz will be in the shotgun again, still standing in his own end zone right now as this drive started at the 1. Munoz has time, throws over the middle and incomplete. Looks like it was intended for Walden, who was closely covered by Chiquito.
Yeah, that's been a good matchup the whole night. Daniel Chiquitos basically takes care of Walden anywhere Walden is there. A rare overthrow by Orlando Munoz because it looked like Walden was open. And the Bulldogs should get great field position.
This will be the second punt. Now Munoz, the quarterback, is also their punter. So you always have to keep an eye on him. But standing near the back of his own end zone here. Makes a nice running start there before he punts this off. This will be short and probably go out of play. And it does. And the Bulldogs will have excellent field position right around the 30-yard line. See where they spot this. As there was a flag on the play also. We'll see what that's about.
I mean, it seems like there's fumbles, bad plays, and penalties.
Right now the ball would be at the 22-yard line. See what the penalty's about.
Coach Brewer wants to know. He'll get an explanation from Mr. Guerrero. Actually, Mr. Guerrero's dad was my golf coach back in my day at
Tony Guerrero, the longtime head golf coach at the old Pan American University, now in the Rio Grande Valley Sports Hall of Fame, I believe.
Exactly, and I don't want people to think that I played golf over there. He was actually my coach in my golf class.
And referee Guerrero talking this over with Coach Brewer of the Bulldogs. We take a look at the replay of the punt.
Oh boy, and, now we know that's not a good play. They're going to get the ball back on a first down mark. It's called roughing the, what do they call it? Roughing the punter.
Yeah, roughing the kicker.
The kicker or the punter. Yeah, I mean, even though he rolled out to the right, as we saw in the replay, you still don't have an open shot at him.
And I think Coach Brewer maybe was trying to argue at what point does he become a runner? Because
exactly, that would be a good
look
question.
like he could possibly run the football.
Yeah, so what are you supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh, I can't touch you? And that might be a rule to be looking at, whether...
A rugby-style kicker is the runner until he comes in the process of kicking the ball. That's what happened on that play. He ran with the ball, but in the process of kicking the ball, he was hit. Therefore, it's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage with automatic first down.
Well, an excellent explanation there by the referee, Tony Guerrero.
So I guess once...
And it's exactly what you and I were speculating about, thinking that he became a runner. And I think that's what the defender, I
Here's
think, was
a
thinking.
Replay. He looks like a runner right there. Now he's initiated the kicking motion, so he becomes like a punter, and you cannot touch him, especially after the ball's already been kicked.
Yeah.
So another mistake, costly mistake, because the Bulldogs were going to get the ball in great field position. So we're going to see what happens with the Wolverine offense now that they have another opportunity.
That becomes an automatic first down. Wolverines keep the football as they hand off Walden here, the in sweep, and he's able to fight his way up to about the 25-yard line.
Now, Mark,
a gain of about 6.
Let me ask you something. Are you marking those as rushing yards, or are you marking that as a passing? Because it's a little flip forward. If you take a look at the replay, that's something I was going to ask you earlier, because I know you're always, I don't know how you do it, but you're also taking stats while we're talking. But we don't have the replay on that one. Thank you, Raul. But that's our director. It's okay. But that's something that I wanted to ask you if you knew the rule on that one.
And this time they hand off in the backfield, goes nowhere. And Bulldog defense comes up big there. It's Antonio Rodriguez.
Let's get back to that play, Mark. Did you see that little flip forward? Is that considered a pass or a handoff? You need to do some research.
Looks like a pass.
Mr. Statistician.
And there's Munoz, rolls out right and throws this one incomplete, intended for Walden.
Roll out. He was successful in the first half on many occasions, and a rare bad pass by Munoz. And he doesn't throw to anybody else except Walden.
So 4th down and 5, a punting situation now for the Wolverines. And same thing again, Munoz takes off running, but then he does punt the football. This is going to be short, but take a Wolverine bounce past the 30-yard line. So it's going to take a big bounce and go all the way back to the Bulldog 26-yard line. A 49-yard punt with no return.
And that penalty cost the Bulldogs at least close to 40 yards, because 15 yards were on the penalty, and then now where they're going to start. But they did get the ball back. Good job by the Bulldog defense.
So 9:34 to go here in the third quarter. Still tied at 7. This will be the first possession for the Bulldogs here in the second half. They hand this off to, or fake the handoff, and it's Cortez going to keep it, gets hit, loses the football, and it's picked up by the Wolverines. Wolverines have the football on the turnover, recovered by Frank Estrada. That's the 4th turnover on the Bulldogs here this evening.
And real quickly, right after the fumble, as you see Coach Uribe excited, right after the fumble, Kevin Brewer was encouraging the defense, asking them to once again come through for the Bulldogs. As Cortez made the right decision and the right read, and had at least 5 to 6 yards, but a good tackle there by number 33 for the Wolverines, Juan Ledesma.
So the Wolverines will have good field position at the Bulldog 29-yard line. That's Sanchez on the carry.
Defense, a nice tackle coming up was Wilbert Murillo.
So 2nd down and 9. Munoz rolls out right. He's been doing that a lot this evening. He's going to throw, and this is caught by Ovadio. Has the first down, and is still fighting his way down to about the 12-yard line to be a pickup of 16 yards.
Very nicely done by Orlando Munoz. He does have success in the rollouts. And what makes his play, Mark, is that he puts it, I mean, not only is he moving, the receiver's also moving, and then he's able to put it only where it had to be. And Chiquito, once again, doing what he does best, gets himself involved in every play.
Rodillo also in there on that tackle as they hand this off up the middle. Sanchez fighting his way across the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. Sanchez picking up good yardage throughout this game.
Kid.
Tough runner.
And you know, it looked like they were trying to yank the ball out of him so he could cause another fumble, but he would not. He was hanging on to it real hard right here. It's number 99 for the Bulldogs. Mendez looking to try to cause another fumble, but good job by Joaquin Sanchez.
So full house backfield. Munoz going to hand this off. Sanchez again hit in the backfield. So the Bulldogs got good penetration there. I think making first contact was Christian Villarreal, the senior defensive back.
Also in there was Wilbert Murillo. As you can see, Antonio Rodriguez
Timeout.
all excited.
PSJA, their first timeout of the half.
So the Wolverines will like to call timeout with exactly 8 minutes left here in the first half, facing a 3rd and 4. Here's some of the miscues we've had in this game. And you can see it's been tough sledding for both of these teams. They combined for 7 turnovers. There we see Sanchez stripped of the football back in the first half.
I think something's wrong with the football, Mark.
And Munoz at one time has to fall on it.
Hey, have you seen Dr. Gonzalez out there in the stand somewhere, Mark?
Oh yes, yeah. We'll talk to our superintendent in just a moment.
Oh, he's in the house over here. Welcome, Dr. Gonzalez. Come over here and share all your great thoughts.
They can get a first down without scoring. They get a first down about the 1-yard line as they go sweep right side and go in for the touchdown. And that's 34 Christian Villarreal, who's also playing defense, and he gets in there on the offense and scores and puts the Wolverines back in front by a score of 13-7.
What do they call that play? The student body right, or what is it called?
I think so. Yeah, they had everybody going to the right side. So in to attempt the extra point will be 56. That's Jose Hernandez. A good snap and good hold, and the kick is up and away and good. And our score was 7:54 to play in the third quarter. It's the Wolverines 14, the Bulldogs 7. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll leave you with a look at the touchdown as you're watching Football Night in McAllen. We'll be talking to the superintendent when we come back.
A community bank with all the conveniences you expect. A Rio Bank app, online banking, e-alerts, mobile check deposits, and ATM deposits. Rio Bank, your kind of bank, your kind of banker.
And back here on Football Night in McAllen, our score, the Wolverines in front 14-7. They led early 7-0. Bulldogs came back and tied it at 7. That's where we were at halftime. And PSJA Memorial, taking advantage of a turnover, goes in from 29 yards out, 4 plays, and they cash in to take the lead momentarily. Bulldogs will be getting the ball back here in a moment. We're with our superintendent, Dr. Jay Gonzalez. And Dr. Gonzalez, what are you seeing out there tonight? What's the atmosphere like as you've been walking around the stadium?
Well, it's nice to see students having a good time playing football. I know that they spend a lot of time practicing, a lot of time in the classroom making sure that they're eligible. So to finally see them competing is something that's special to us, and we know how big football is in Texas, so it's a special night in McAllen.
And did you get a chance to see at halftime they had the little Bulldogs out there, the little kids with the Bulldog t-shirts?
I did. It's all about starting them young and creating that foundation. We do that in the classroom from an academic standpoint, and we're doing that with the same perspective in regard to athletics. So it's nice to see all our future Bulldogs out there and also seeing their parents cheer them on, that's something special.
I know that's a big thrill for the kids to be able to run across the field under the big lights and everything like that. And yeah, I'm sure it'll do wonders to help keep those kids, get them excited about all the opportunities that kids have within middle school and high school. Can you talk a little bit about all the different things we have in the district? I know with the sports and the fine arts and the career technical education and some of those opportunities.
Well, one of the big things we're happy about is the fact that we're offering golf at the middle school. We know that we have a strong golf program, and golf being a lifelong sport, we know that that's going to be beneficial to growing our program. So that's one we're very proud of.
Gutierrez there on the carry, but there is a flag down. He carried it for 12 yards. We'll see what that's about. Roy Gutierrez, for the moment, has a first down. And yeah, we've got golf at the middle school level now, and of course we've had it for years at the high school level. And what are some of the other things, or any plans or anything else that you want to bring in the near future?
Well, one of the things that we are very interested in is obviously science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And we know that you see a lot of people in the stands right now. We see students cheering for their classmates, and we want to get that same vibe going for our rocketry program and our robotics program and our coding program. So we want to set up some competitions where students that are excelling in those particular areas are also showcased, and their talents are also appreciated by our community. So we have some cool plans that are coming in the very near future to do just that, showcase STEAM in McAllen ISD.
Oh, very good. Yeah, the STEAM programs, those are, and you know, that's not just something for to give kids something to do. That's where industry is going, isn't it? Because I know we try to keep and follow where industry trends are out there.
It really is. And in doing the research, we know that drone pilots are going to be in huge need as we move into the future. We currently have approximately 20,000 drone pilots in our country. By the year 2022, it's estimated that we'll have 400,000 drone pilots. So as a district, we're working real hard to put a system in place so that we can get our students certified to fly drones and fill that market.
Wow. So kids will have opportunities if everything falls into place, so our kids can become certified to fly drones.
That's the vision.
Wow. Very, very neat. And I know, I believe you've met with our police department on that, because our police department already has some officers who've been certified.
We started last spring with a vision of bringing a drone division into our PD, and the vision was to do just what we were able to do with Hurricane Harvey and going into the coastal bend and assessing damages and trying our very best to help our neighbors to the north. So in the event of a crisis situation in our area, McAllen ISD PD is ready to react, and we're also able to do surveillance. And it's a top-notch program within our PD that we're very, very proud of. So we have 2 certified drone pilots, and we're going to leverage them as we work at certifying our students and use their expertise and their certification to try to help spearhead this movement that we have going on in the district right now.
Raul Cantu with the 5-yard run, and the Bulldogs offense has come to life here as they are now knocking on the door at the 15-yard line and picked up another first down as well. Jared Cortez there in there at quarterback. And he's going to hand this off to Gutierrez. Big hole up the middle. Nobody near him, and he's in for the touchdown. Roy Gutierrez scores from 15 yards out, and the Bulldogs are right back in it. The chance to tie up this game, 14-13. And Coach Gonzalez, you used to be a coach. I'm calling you coach when you're up here in the booth. I think maybe your presence, your words of wisdom here maybe inspired the Bulldogs a little bit, as they were really moving the football while you were talking.
Well, I can tell you that I was an assistant principal at McAllen High School years ago, and the school has a great amount of tradition. A lot of people in our community graduated from McAllen High School. The purple and gold runs through a lot of veins in this community, so anytime you see the Bulldogs drive down the field like that, it charges up our whole town, so we're hoping to see more of that.
Well, good. Well, Dr. Gonzalez, appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you sharing with us what's going on in the school district and keeping us up to date.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you very much.
All right, Roy Gutierrez puts the Bulldogs on the board, and they're all tied up at 14. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more action on Football Night in McAllen.
McAllen ISD is the heartbeat of the community. Students can earn up to 60 college credit hours and even an associate's degree while still in high school, saving families time and money. McAllen ISD, excellence since 1908.
And we're back here at United Pharmacy Field, all tied at 14. We take a look at the replay.
Nothing fancy.
And there's Roy Gutierrez, boy, wide open up the middle. I think the defense may have been spread out a little bit, expecting a pass.
Either that or they saw Dr. Gonzalez on the screen up there, and the coaches said, we better start making better calls here because Dr. Gonzalez is up here in the press box. But, you know, Roy Gutierrez has been running pretty hard all night long, and he deserves that touchdown. But give credit to the offensive line for opening big gaps on all the plays. So, I mean, let's give credit to Nick Sanders, Ricardo Salinas, Arturo Ochoa, Nick Guerra, and Edgar Gaona.
Yeah, excellent blocking. Running backs can't go anywhere without good blocking. So excellent plays there. And with 6:19 to go here in the third quarter, it's 14-14 to see what the referee, he's going to tell us something.
30.
Kick did go out of bounds, by the way. I think they'll spot this at the 30-yard line.
PSJA has chosen to take option B.
Hey, Mark, have you seen our school board president anywhere?
First down.
Our school board president?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, he's here.
Why don't we bring him up here and see, see if he has a few words for us.
Tony Farina joining us here, the school board president. He's at this game tonight. It's the Bulldogs and Wolverines. An exciting game, and we see a nice run here by the quarterback, Orlando Munoz. You know, he's rolled out quite a few times tonight, but I think that's the first time he's actually turned it upfield, and he's able to get a first down for these Wolverines. And Tony Farina joining us now as a school board president. And Tony, your take on this game. I know you had a long sports background, and so tell us what you've been observing out there tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, watching the Wolverines quarterback the way he does, he's going to break one of those, and it could come back to haunt the Bulldogs. He's managed to get around a couple of times, and each time it's been a little bit further and further. But the Bulldog defense is pretty staunch, and they've been holding up fairly well. We just need to get that Bulldog offense in gear, and it's like any given Sunday, any given Thursday night. 11 guys against 11 guys. There's going to be some festivities, and these guys are surely living up well. Matt Kai came in after the loss last week. They've got a little chip on their shoulder, and PSJA Memorial. We were talking. It may have been 3 years since their last victory, so they're always going to be hungry and looking for a way. Former road coach Mike Uribe, now the head coach for the Wolverines. He knows this field pretty well. He knows the ins and outs. So we'll see if he puts his little bag of tricks into play.
Yep, the Wolverines have been running the ball a little bit more than I expected tonight. I expected them to be throwing more, but their 2 touchdowns both set up on short drives because of Bulldog turnovers, and I think that's been the one knock for the Bulldogs in the first 2 weeks. If they can just cut down on the turnovers, they can really start to turn their fortunes around.
Yep, you've got to the championship will be won by the defense, and the offense is going to sell some tickets. So, hopefully we can get the offense in gear and the defense just to keep us in the game, and we'll have a great turnaround after that.
So here's Munoz again, wants to run the football. It's going to be short of the first down on 3rd down and 4. This will be like a 4th down and 2 that they've got now. Let's talk a little bit about an upcoming event. We're on live tonight, so we can invite people out to the McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff on Saturday, September the 9th. You're going to be the MC there. So
I get the pleasure of doing that, so it's going to be a good time. We want to invite not only the kids from McAllen and their parents to come on out and be a part of it, but anybody that's watching right now that's able to come on down and be a part of it. And I know that Coach Mario Reyna has really put it in place so that we're all physically in shape by 2020. So it's the initiative that he started. Obviously, I'm shaped, round.
I think you and I need a little more, maybe 2021. Yeah, we'll come around.
2021, 22, maybe 23. But this is the type of thing where we want to invite our entire community to come out and be a part of it. We've got some great stories. We've got a former NFL player. We've got a TCU Rhodes Scholar that's going to be here talking to the kids and the families as well. So, this is going to be an event for the entire family. There's not a reason why the kindergartners to the seniors in high school. And, we've got all the details right there on the screen. Saturday morning, 8 a.m. here at the stadium. And we couldn't do it without our great sponsors from the Monitor, the City of McAllen, Rio Grande Regional Hospital, United Healthcare, UTRGV, Healthy South Texas from Texas A&M, and of course, Telemundo Corriente. It wouldn't be possible without their help and their generosity in making this a total annual family event. So again, we want to invite everybody to come on down and be a part of it. You see Kalen Moore, TCU's Rhodes Scholar, Keith Davis, former NFL player, didn't play for the Cowboys, played against the Cowboys, but you know, he had such a great time last year coming down to visit the Valley. And do we have enough botanas lined up and ready for him?
Oh, yeah,
he's a big fan of the botanas.
I do remember last year he said something about you Cowboy fans that are out there, I'm going to pray for you because we had just lost a quarterback, Tony Romo, the week before. Things were looking bleak, so looks like those prayers kind of paid off. Dak Prescott was the guy who came up, so I think we got a turnover out here. It's a turnover on downs as the Wolverines tried to go for it on 4th down after that timeout.
And that's exactly what we talked about. We need a defense that'll bend but will not break, and these guys managed to come in and they held the line. They managed to force that turnover on downs. A little momentum shift now for the Bulldogs. It seemed as if now it's starting to go their way, and hopefully the offense will be able to capitalize. Obviously, you've got guys like Gunnar Henderson that you want to see in the mix, and getting him the ball a bit. And of course, he's got a complimentary back that's there to ground and pound it with him. So.
Yeah, 1st and 10. Now they hand off to Gutierrez, and I want to give credit to the guy who got the tackle there. I think that was 32, Shamir Mallard, who got in there, got penetration, was able to get the first hit on Sanchez. So excellent defensive play by him. And tell us real quickly before we let you go about a little bit about your experience on the school board. I know that's a unique perspective.
It is.
And tell us what motivates you to serve on the board, and what are some of the things y'all have been working on?
You know, we've gotten quite a few things accomplished already. We've seen an increase in scores, and we I say we as the board, but the board really has no active participation in that. It's their teachers, it's our assessment, our administrators, it's the guys that are doing the assessment of the students that have really, done the job. We're here in the school board just to help guide the district along the way, and the work that we do isn't really seen because it's the success of the superintendent and of the teachers and the facilitators and the administrators and guys like you guys that are in it every day. My day job is working at the university. You guys are in it, front line and center each and every day. So we just come in and kind of guide and say, hey, let's try this and let's tweak that. But to be an active member of the school board, I encourage anybody to do it. It's something that you want to give back to your community, and that's the thing. And I've said since day one, this isn't it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're going the distance, and hopefully we'll continue to grow and do the things that we're doing right now for the district.
By the way, Gutierrez hopped his way to a 1st down there. Bulldogs at the 40-yard line in Wolverine territories. They call Gutierrez's number again. A big hole up the middle. Has about 8 yards and bring up 2nd down and about 2. And Tony Farina, our school board president, appreciate you stopping by. And we'll see you at the McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff.
Yeah, bring the kids out, traigan toda la familia, and we'll see you here for the marathon on Saturday. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Saturday, 8 o'clock, and it's a free event. Come on out. You can hear from the former NFL player Keith Davis and the Rhodes Scholar and Kalen Moore. And here's a big run here as this is Gutierrez again, and he has just become a workhorse in the second half as he explodes all the way down to the 5-yard line. A run of about 40 yards, and the Bulldogs a chance now to take their first lead tonight with 2:14 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Nice hole up the middle. Hurry up offense. Mark, it looks like this offensive line is taking over.
Yeah, offensive line really dominating here in this second half as we saw Gutierrez score a touchdown earlier in the 3rd, and now here on 1st and goal, he's bottled up for no gain.
What would we do without cheerleaders at a football game?
Well, it's a part of football. The cheerleaders, the band. You notice the band has been playing this entire second half. They've had that drum line going. You might be able to hear in the background. Cortez on 2nd down. Going to hand off. The big hole up the middle. Touchdown! Roy Gutierrez, his 2nd score of the night, goes in from 4 yards out. And the Bulldogs have their first lead of the evening.
And Mark, it looks like the conditioning of the offensive line is paying off because, they are opening up holes that weren't there in the first game against Harlingen South and early on in most of the first half. But Roy Gutierrez should be getting close to the 100-yard mark. He's getting it going, and the offense is doing a great job of taking over.
Yeah, the Bulldogs as a team up to 172 yards as the Wolverines block this extra point. A bit of a scramble there, so the extra point is no good. Bulldogs still have the lead, though, 20-14 with 1:37 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So not out of the woods yet, but the Bulldogs certainly have the momentum going in their favor here in this second half. We're going to take a break. We'll continue with more Football Night in McAllen right after this.
Get back to the basics of car buying at Bogus. With more selection, real deals, respect for your time, and a fair price up front. Come see why it's better at Bogus. In Harlingen, in McAllen, and always at BogusFord.com.
That man has 2 touchdowns here tonight. Roy Gutierrez being congratulated by a teammate on the defense, Wilbert Murillo, showing him a great run. And the Bulldogs in front now, 20-14. They trailed at one point, 14-7. Have scored 2 unanswered touchdowns and now have the lead. So we'll see how PSJA Memorial is able to react to that. I know PSJA Memorial probably felt good about their chances early on of snapping that losing streak. Weren't able to pick up a win at all in 2016. We see Sanchez back to receive this kickoff. And it's going to be fielded right at the 5-yard line and then trips over his own teammate. That's Walden who actually caught it and tripped over Sanchez. And they're down at the 5-yard line. So another miscue on a kickoff by PSJA Memorial.
If you remember, Mark, the half started with another miscue where they started on their own 2-yard line. And if you go, I think there's a penalty, Mark, but if you go back to the last time that the Wolverines had possession, on the handoff, his own handoff to Joaquin Sanchez, his own receiver, Michael Munoz, kind of got in his way and wasn't able to get any momentum going forward. So let's see what this penalty is all about.
You can see one official over there talking to Coach Kevin Brewer at the bottom of your screen.
And we knew that Sanchez coming in was a good running back, Mark. He came into this game with 15 carries and 75 yards, and I'm pretty sure he's got close to 100 yards or more than 100 yards tonight.
Wolverines led early in this game 7-0, and then the Bulldogs came back and tied it at 7 on a 51-yard catch by Henderson.
Dead ball.
And then
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 15 of the kicking team. That player has been ejected.
Ejected.
Oh my goodness.
You know, that's something that officials are not going to tolerate. And you want to take care of it early, Mark, when somebody's not showing appropriate behavior, because if not, the game can get out of hand.
Yeah, so that as we take a look at the officials' names there, that moves the ball all the way from the 5-yard line all the way out to the 20-yard line, so PSJA Memorial can breathe a little bit. I was going to say Henderson had a touchdown for the Bulldogs in the first half. Gutierrez has had 2 touchdowns running the football here in the second half, as on first down, a pickup about 2 yards, but there is a flag down. On the carry was Roel Martinez. And it's going to be holding against the Wolverines. So this will move it back 10 yards.
You know, the Wolverines hurt themselves with turnovers in the first half, and now they're hurting themselves with penalties that are just very difficult to overcome.
White, number 72, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
So they move back to the 10-yard line, and they have a first and 20 situation now. Oviedo goes in motion. Munoz rolls out right. Trying to turn the corner, he can't. He's hit. He's going to be stopped. A bevy of Bulldogs right there as Rene Garcia is the first one to hit him. You can see half of his teammates out there also contributed in on that tackle.
Looks like the defense for the Bulldogs are making an adjustment on the rollouts by Joaquin Sanchez, because he's had a lot of success.
Yeah, some teams, when they adjust, they'll put a shadow on the quarterback, usually assign one of the linebackers, usually your middle linebacker will be assigned to follow that quarterback wherever he goes and not have to worry about pass defense. And so those quarterbacks who are a running threat, you can try to shut them down a little bit. Bulldogs lead by 6 here, last minute of the third quarter.
And no team wants to be in a 2nd and 21 situation.
So Sanchez went in motion, and then a couple of the Bulldogs run in there, and I think they blew this dead.
Dead ball. False start on number 78 of the offense. Be a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat the down.
So that moves it back to the 5-yard line. 8th penalty on the Wolverines.
That's about where they started before they got a penalty by the Bulldogs for unsportsmanlike conduct, and now they're backing themselves. They're going in the opposite direction.
So they've, right back at the 5-yard line. Sanchez in motion. Bulldogs look like they might want to blitz. There's Garcia on the end, and Garcia does come in, hits the quarterback, but as he releases the football intended for Sanchez as it goes incomplete. And on the coverage there for the Bulldogs was 21, Trip Potter.
Give credit to the defensive line again for the Bulldogs. They put a lot of pressure on Orlando Munoz. As soon as he got the ball, he had to let it go and he got hit pretty hard by the Bulldogs. Rene Garcia, linebacker.
There they go on 3rd down and long. And this pass is incomplete, intended for Garza, who is closely covered by Zach Garcia, number 18. Garcia has an interception earlier in this game. And clock stops at 22 seconds left in the third, 4th down.
So the Bulldogs should have excellent position here, Mark, because punter is in the end zone.
Yeah, 4th down and 26. So the Wolverines hurt themselves with penalties. Looked like there may have been movement, but punt is off, and it's going to go out of bounds, and the Bulldogs are going to have excellent field position.
This is the first punt I have ever seen, Mark, that goes into the stands in this stadium. How about you?
I don't think I've ever seen it, only in practice when teams are warming up.
I mean,
oh, that went way out of bounds early, didn't it?
Going to get the ball in their own. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Now that was a punt from the 4-yard line, but the Bulldogs will end up with the football at right there at the 4-yard line. That was a net punt of 0 yards.
Look at this punt.
I didn't have the depth perception to be able to tell that it went way off the side like that.
It went into the bleachers, but that's a risk of that kind of soccer style. What do they call it?
Yeah, soccer style. Well, actually, more of like a rugby type punter. That running style, or Australian rules football, maybe, as Gutierrez on 1st and goal carries it up to the 2-yard line. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. You take a look at that replay. It's hit in the backfield, but still managed to pick up a couple of yards, and finally brought down by the defensive tackle Gabriel Pettis.
Looked like Wanda Ledesma was the first one to get to Gutierrez.
Into the third quarter, Bulldogs lead it 20-14 and knocking on the door. We'll be back with the 4th in just a moment.
McAllen ISD is the heartbeat of the community. McAllen ISD, excellent since 1908.
And we're back here at United Mix Pharmacy Field at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. Started the fourth quarter. Bulldogs lead it by 6. A chance to break this game open. 2nd down and goal. Handoff. Gutierrez hit, stumbles forward, and is in for the touchdown. His 3rd score of the night, and the Bulldogs open it up to 26-14 as a flag goes down after the play. So I think the touchdown will stand, and Gutierrez has 3 on the board here tonight for the Bulldogs, who have really taken over here in this second half. This was set up by a punt that went for 0 yards at the PSJA Memorial 4-yard line. Bulldogs set up at right at the 4. In 2 plays, they are able to score, with Roy Gutierrez handling it both times. 26-14 our score, 11:55 to go in the game. And we'll see what the penalty flag is about. It was after the touchdown had been scored, so if anything is enforced, it'll be on the kickoff.
And Mark, what a difference a week makes for Roy Gutierrez. Last week, he carried the ball 18 times for 48 yards, a 2.7 average. He had a tough going, and this week he should be in the 100-yard range, and he's got 3 touchdowns.
We have a touchdown on the play. We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty on number 22, taunting. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed at the try.
Okay, yeah, that'll be 15-yard penalty against the Bulldogs. That's their 5th penalty here this evening. I'm sure something Coach Kevin Brewer will want to address during the practices during the coming week.
And the extra point will become like a 35-yard field goal because of the penalty.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, they're not enforcing this on the kickoff, but enforcing it on the extra point try. So they've moved the ball all the way out to the 18-yard line. So from there, it'll be about a 35-yard extra point.
Good point, Mario.
Yep.
But they're not going to kick a field goal, Mark.
So they're going to go for 2 from there, from 18 yards out. Play action. Cortez to throw over the middle, and it's caught. Gunnar Henderson for 2 points. I don't think I've ever seen that. An 18-yard 2-point conversion. And Cortez rolled out right, did a throwback pass to his left. Henderson on a crossing route, kind of against the flow of play. Caught that in stride and ran in for the 2-point conversion. 28-14 our score now with 11:55 to go in the game. We'll take a quick break. Be back with the kickoff in just a moment. Mackay in front, 28-14 on Football Night in McAllen. He muffed the ball, so had to just fall on it. And you probably won't be able to see there, but there was a late hit in there, but Brewer that the player was shoved into the ball carrier.
And that might have happened because of the reaction of the player.
And here on 1st and 10 following the penalty, Munoz trying to find some rushing room, but the Bulldogs all over him. And I think the tackle on the play there by Trace Gagne, sophomore linebacker.
The Bulldog defense is just hurting themselves with all kinds of penalties and lack of execution.
So they're at the 24-yard line, 2nd down and 13. Clock is moving. Not a factor yet, but something to keep your eye on as Sanchez trying on the sweep, and the Bulldogs all over him. And what spirited, inspired play by these Bulldog defense here in the second half. They've really played a pretty good game. The 2 touchdowns that PSJA Memorial has, both times set up by turnovers deep in the Bulldog side of the field. Otherwise, the defense might be pitching a shutout here tonight, as we see on the wrap-up there, 93, Luis Olandes.
Nothing's happening for Joaquin, and on the last tackle was Luis Olandes.
So Munoz to throw, wants to throw deep. Man is open, but overthrown. Intended for Walden, who had broken open there down the right sideline. And that'll bring up 4th down.
What a great move by Walden, and he put that move on Chiquito. Chiquito was lucky that Orlando Munoz did not put it where he needed to.
And Munoz does a good job here also of looking to his left and then turning and throwing to the right. So defenders sometimes who like to look at the quarterback's eyes to see where he might be throwing the football can get fooled by that. You can see the frustration on Walden's face in that last play as he was unable to run underneath that. Here's the punt, and this is going to go out of bounds, and the Bulldogs again are going to have it.
Almost came into the stands, Mark.
Yep. Bulldogs will have good field position here.
It may be that
34-yard
Coach Uribe might have to consider about that rugby style kicking. Or it could be that Orlando Munoz, who's the quarterback, has also been getting pounded, Mark. Maybe it's affecting his punting, but we have now we got the ball. Bulldogs take over at their own 34-yard line.
So Bulldogs at the 34. Handoff Gutierrez. Gutierrez hops over a defender and gets to about the 31.
Number 90 coming in there, Christian Garcia. Roy Gutierrez is smiling. What a difference a week makes. Mark, last week he couldn't get anything.
Yeah, we got a full moon out there tonight, a red moon, no less. Looks beautiful out there tonight in this gorgeous September the 7th. It's under 10 minutes, and on 2nd down and 7, here's Gutierrez. And Gutierrez crosses the 30 up to about the 28-yard line. So a gain of about 2. Or actually a gain of 3, and they'll bring up third down and 4.
I think Daniels on the last tackle.
So 2 men in the backfield with Cortez. Cortez hand this off to Cantu, the fullback, and he's upended down at the 26-yard line. He's going to be at least a yard short of the first down.
And Anthony Escalante, we called out his name many times, the linebacker for the Wolverines. He's having a fine game.
You see Cantu, the junior fullback, coming out. Was hit initially by Gabriel Pettis, where he was brought down. And it looks like the Bulldogs are going to go for it here. 4th down and 2. Their defense has played really well, so it gives them that confidence and that luxury. Cortez flushed out of the pocket. Play is still alive. Short pass looks like it's caught. Is it inbounds? Yes, it is. Caught by Gunnar Henderson, and that's going to be a first down. Picked up 4 yards on 4th and 2, and the Bulldogs move the chains.
Let's give credit to J.R. Cortez. He was under pressure.
See the replay there. Bulldogs first down at the 21-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. They have a pistol formation. Gutierrez back there with Cortez. It'll be Gutierrez get the call, and he's hit in the backfield, and it's going to lose a couple.
Great penetration on defense by Raymond Lopez, the defensive lineman for the Wolverines.
So look at the replay. You can see it just as soon as Gutierrez was able to get a hold of it, he was getting hit in the backfield. So this brings up 2nd down and 11. They've got Cantu back in there now. They hand this off. Cantu lead block for Gutierrez. Big hole up the middle into the secondary down to about the 10-yard line. And that's going to be enough for a first down. Should be 1st and goal now.
Nice move by Gutierrez. I like that. He basically jumped over the defender. Look at the replay, Mark, the blocking on the left side, that little jump there, got him an extra 7 or 8 yards. Tackle by number 22.
There you see the ball spotted right on the 10, so it is 1st and goal. So we see Dylan Martinez there lined up in your foreground. Cortez in the backfield, hands off to Cantu. Cantu, big hole up the middle at the 5, and then knocked off his heels at about the 3-yard line. A 7-yard pickup, and it brings 2nd down and goal. Bulldogs now at 200 yards rushing for the night. Most of that in this second half. They had 66 at halftime and about 134 here in the second half. You can see a big hole there for Cantu. The offensive line for the Bulldogs really is dominated out there, especially in the second half of action. So we've got a timeout on the field right now, by the way. It's 7:19 to go in the game. Bulldogs up 28-14. They were down 14-7 at one point, but they have 3 consecutive touchdowns and possibly a 4th here. So we've got a timeout on the field. Our next game will be tomorrow night, by the way. It'll be the Nicky Rowe Warriors and their home opener against the Mercedes Tigers.
And that should be a real good game, Mark, because I know the Tigers lost last week, but anytime you're playing against Corpus Christi Cal Island, who I believe last year they went to the state finals.
Yeah, Mercedes losing to Cal Allen, and Nicky Rowe won their opener against the Edinburgh Bobcats. And so the Warriors will be looking to stay undefeated. Tomorrow night, their home opener, Mercedes against Nicky Rowe. That'll be Friday night to 7:30 is the kickoff time. We'll be on the air at about 7:22. Going to go ahead and take a quick break right now. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Football Night in McAllen.
Your child is family. Embraced with academic rigor, life skills, and enrichment, our students earn college credit, associate's degrees, licenses and certifications, and advanced diplomas. McAllen ISD.
Bulldogs lead at 28-14 here at McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. And of course, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Saturday, September the 9th, we're going to be having the 4th annual McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff. But tomorrow, Friday, I know the speakers there, Keith Davis and Kaylin Moore, they're going to be touring some of the McAllen ISD schools, aren't they?
That's correct, Mark.
Yeah, and they'll be going to like 9 different campuses. So we take a quick peek at the Bulldogs schedule. They opened with Harlingen South last week. PSJA Memorial, they're playing tonight. If the score holds, they could end up at 1-1. Then they go to Los Fresnos next week. That'll be a tough game there in District 32. Then they got Victoria East. The Titans will be coming to McAllen. Then they have a bye week followed by their district play against the La Jolla Coyotes on the road. McAllen Memorial at home. La Jolla Juarez Lincoln will be on the road. Then they play Nicky Rowe at home. That'll be the homecoming game for the Bulldog faithful at October 27th. And then at La Jolla Palmview. So they play all 3 La Jolla schools on the road this year. And they'll finish at home on Thursday, November the 9th against the Mission Eagles. Mission getting a brand new football stadium. Well, not a brand new stadium, but significant renovations to their existing stadium.
And their stadium is actually not ready, Mark. They're actually playing all their games right now. The Eagles and the
Eagles and the Patriots
are playing all their games away. But Mark, this is what's the tough part of football. That right now we have a delay because we have an injured player. And we know that it's always about taking precautions. We're hopeful that the young man is okay. But anytime that a kid goes down the way he did, you know that they are going to take all the precautions and bring in the ambulance and make sure he's okay.
Yeah, our trainers do a great job out there with these kids. And, of course, they're at just about every sporting event throughout the entire year, not just football, basketball, all the sports, of course, but also like the junior varsity sports and the freshman sports and so on. So it's a ton of events, hundreds of events literally over the course of the school year. So we really appreciate the job that our trainers do at every high school. And we got 7:19 to go here in the 4th quarter, and the Bulldogs knocking on the door. They lead 28-14, and a chance to increase that lead when we return to action here in a moment. And we were talking about the speakers, Keith Davis and Kaylin Moore. They're going to be going to 9 different campuses across McAllen ISD. And tell me a little bit about what people can expect there, the kids can expect at those campuses.
Well, last year Keith Davis was here. And like we've said all throughout the game, he played for the New York Giants. And he's made this now Life After Football. He made this his livelihood. He's been to 51 different countries, all 50 states. And he's very passionate of what he does. And he likes to connect with kids. And he does a tremendous job. And he brings others and helps them become keynote speakers. And this year we're lucky that we're going to have Kaylin Moore from TCU. And he's got a great life. He struggled with his childhood days, poverty. His dad's in prison, and but he's overcome all that, and he's a Rhodes Scholar. And you know what a Rhodes Scholar is all about.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story that he can share, and Keith Davis also. We're going to take a quick break. 7:19 to go here in the fourth, and it's the Bulldogs up 28-14. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Football Night in McAllen. And we're back here on Football Night in McAllen. Mark May with Mario Reyna. We saw that promo a moment ago of all the great athletes in recent years that have gone to Division I schools. Just kind of a little highlight montage of them. One of the names that came up was Trevor Spates, former McAllen Memorial Mustang, who's now a Stanford Cardinal. And I mention it because Stanford's going to be in a nationally televised game this Saturday against the USC Trojans. So you might check that out. It might be... don't know how much he'll play, but it'll be good to see one of our own from here in McAllen representing the Stanford Cardinal in a nationally televised game.
Well, the first game Stanford played, I think they played in Australia or out of town somewhere.
Yeah, definitely an out-of-town game.
And they
yeah,
played against
Rice.
Rice, and we were thinking that two former Memorial Mustangs were going to play against each other because our former quarterback Sanchez, Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan Sanchez is playing. He plays tight end now for the Rice Owls.
Right. So, but unfortunately, both of them did not play because I think they were both hurt.
So that'll be something to look forward to. Coming up this Saturday on, I can't remember which network, but I'm sure you can find it in your local listings on one of the cable channels. And 28-14 our score here between the Bulldogs and the PSJA Memorial Wolverines. And just to give you a quick scoring recap, for the Wolverines, they had their running back Joaquin Sanchez scored on a short run back in the first quarter of action, and they had a touchdown from Villarreal, another running back who ran in for a score back in the third quarter. And then the Mackay touchdowns coming from Gunnar Henderson on a 51-yard catch and run, and then the Roy Gutierrez has 3 touchdown runs in this game. He's got a hat trick, if you will. Henderson also added a 2-point conversion for a brilliant play. The Bulldogs converting from the 18-yard line after a penalty, but they still get the deuce, and they lead it now 28-14. And by the way, McAllen ISD, congratulations, Mario, because I know that you oversee this, but recognized as a Let's Move Active Schools Trailblazer. And you can hear the applause from the crowd. They appreciate Let's Move, and they also appreciate that the young man has been taken care of on the field. And it's originally a sub-initiative of First Lady Michelle Obama, the Let's Move campaign, just a national Get Healthy exercise campaign. And McAllen ISD has been nationally recognized in this, haven't they?
And in fact, just this week we got another announcement that we continue to do it. And it's all about the work that our physical education teachers put in, and the support that we get from our superintendent, and the support that we get from our school board. And Mark, it looks like the young man is going to be taken to the hospital to get checked to make sure that he's doing okay. And here's another recognition that McAllen ISD has gotten in the active schools.
Kids warm up on the ground, on the field. Thank you.
And because of the pause in action, referee Guerrero authorized about a 2 to 3 minute warm-up time for the players. And it's going to be difficult for the PSJ Memorial kids to continue to stay focused, because I'm sure their thoughts are going to be with their teammates.
We know the young men will get the best care available, and you can see the Bulldogs down there in their purple warming up right now. PSJA Memorial doing some stretching there at the top of your screen, and this is kind of a new trend we're seeing in athletics now. More attention to, player health. I know, like in soccer, you've seen they've had hydration breaks that come, kind of in the middle of the game, and the officials will allow the players to get rehydrated. And this is the first time I've seen this actually, where we had a long pause and the referees allow extended time for the football players to kind of re-warm up a bit, so nobody pulls a muscle or a hamstring or something like that here in the latter part of the football game.
Yeah, you can also see the two coaches talking to each other and just supporting each other. And Mark, while the kid was on the field, boy, you could not hear a pin drop. Everything, everybody there was no talking. It's just one of those things that happens in the game of football.
Yeah, this non-district action here between the Bulldogs and Wolverines. We saw the Bulldogs schedule earlier, and taking a look at PSJA Memorial, they will be at home next week against Brownsville Lopez, and then they open district play. Of course, they've got the PSJA North, PSJA Southwest, and PSJA Bears on their schedule, along with the 4 Edinburgh schools: Edinburgh Bobcats, Edinburgh Economides, Edinburgh Bela, and Edinburgh North. So I know that'll be tough sledding for them, a real competitive district that they're in. And of course, the Bulldogs, we saw their schedule earlier as they go on the road next week at Los Fresnos. And then they'll be back at home, a game that we'll have for you right here on MITV and McAllen it'll be a game between the Victoria East Titans against the McAllen Bulldogs. And I think Victoria was hit in that recent Hurricane Harvey. We talked about how hard it's hit Rockport and how hard it hit up in Houston, but it's also had an impact as far inland as Victoria. But anyway, we're back to action now, and here on second down at the 3-yard line, a handoff to Cantu. I think this is second and goal, actually, and it is, and they bring up third down and goal from the 3-yard line.
On this kid, what's his name, Mark, again? The running back?
Raul Cantu?
I used to have a student that his name was Raul Cantu, and he really looks just like this kid, so I want to check to see. Could be his son.
Could be the son. And here's a handoff up the middle. Gutierrez, and a touchdown. Had the lead block from Cantu, and Gutierrez goes in for his 4th touchdown. Now we see some good sportsmanship there on the part of both teams after a little bit of chippiness earlier in this game. And good to see both teams exhibiting some good sportsmanship as Gutierrez has his 4th touchdown of the night, and the Bulldogs extend their lead to 34-14. And was that Coach Bechtold there doing a chest bump?
Second time. I'll give him a 9 on the jump.
Nixon, the hold, and the extra point attempt by Maldonado is good. He's been successful on all 5 of his extra points here tonight, and 6:43 to go here in the game, and the Bulldogs now lead at 35-14. We'll take a break and leave you with another look at the touchdown. You're watching Football Night in McAllen. Here's Roy Gutierrez's score.
A community bank with all the conveniences you expect. A Real Bank app, online banking, e-alerts, mobile check deposits, and ATM deposits. Real Bank, your kind of bank, your kind of banker.
Back here on Football Night in McAllen, let me correct myself a little bit. Maldonado, the kicker for the Bulldogs, actually 3 for 4 on his extra points here tonight. I forgot he did have one blocked earlier, and the Bulldogs did have a 2-point conversion. That was by Gunnar Henderson, and this kickoff goes out of bounds. A Wolverine player almost touched it, but I guess he didn't because the flag goes up, and this will be coming out to the 30-yard line. So Sanchez thought about touching it, then saw, well, wait, this might trickle out of bounds, and if that happens, we get the ball at the 30, and that's what's going to happen.
And upon reflection here in the second half, Mark, it looks like that Bulldog defense took over, and it looks like the Wolverine team
out of bounds.
is a little exhausted, like they've run out of
Option
gas.
B, 30 minutes, 30 yards from the kick. First down.
Well, total yardage in the second half for PSJA Memorial, just 42 yards after 122 in the first half.
They don't seem like the same team that was here in the first half.
There's Munoz rolling out to his left. It's usually rolled out right, but he has some room here and picks up about 7, maybe 8. Going to bring up second and short. Clock a bit of a factor now as the Wolverines trail by 3 touchdowns, and they're down to just their last time out. .6:35 to go. So here's the snap to Munoz. He'll hand it off to Sanchez. Sanchez hit in the backfield, surges across the 40 up to about the 43-yard line. It was brought down by several Bulldogs, including 73 Carlos Rivera. Some other Bulldogs who are in there now. 61 Eduardo Ramon, 63 Francisco Camacho. So first down here for the Wolverines. Pass complete to Adrian Garza, is hit by Chiquito, and he goes down at the 50-yard line. Also helping in on the tackle was Gagne.
Looks like the Bulldog defense is some kind of like a prevent defense. They're going to give you the short yardage. They want the clock to keep going. Less than 6 minutes to go. We have 21-point lead. 21-point lead. So
here's Munoz going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Intended for Oviedo. Looked like it hit him in both hands, but just unable to hang on to the ball. And that'll stop the clock at 5:40. Bring up third down. We take a look at the replay, and Munoz's pass right on the money. That was Zach Garcia who came in there on the tackle. Here's a long pass right side on third down. Walden's down there, caught it at the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. Here's spot him at the 14, so great execution there by the Wolverines. They almost connected on that kind of play earlier in the half, and this time they completed for about 35 yards.
Walden's as good a receiver I've seen on this field in a while. He's got great moves.
Down to the 14-yard line to hand this off. A hole there for Sanchez. Fights his way up to about the 12-yard line.
It's been a great matchup by Walden, the receiver, and Chiquito, the defensive back, because anywhere Walden goes, Chiquito goes.
Yeah, it's been a great matchup there. Pass over the middle intended for Walden. Goes off his hands and helmet. And bring up second down.
And the strength of Munoz was displayed right there, Mark. He threw a bullet.
And PSJA Memorial now over 100 yards passing in this game tonight. Clock stopped at 5 minutes. 3 receivers to the right. Walden is lined up on the left as they hand this off. Sanchez breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, breaks it outside, hit at the goal line, and goes in for the touchdown. So Sanchez with his second score tonight. And the Wolverines have their second touchdown of the second half. They trail now 35-20. So the Bulldogs had scored 4 unanswered touchdowns, 28 unanswered points. There's a young lady who spotted
excited
herself on the big scoreboard.
She did.
And the extra point by Valderrama is good. And with 4:52 to play here in the game, and actually that was Hernandez on the extra point, but 4:52 to play in the game, and it's 35-21. Here's another look at the touchdowns. A handoff there to Sanchez. And Sanchez breaking a tackle, actually 2 tackles to get into the end zone for the score. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Football Night in McAllen.
McAllen ISD is the heartbeat of the community. Students can earn up to 60 college credit hours and even an associate's degree while still in high school, saving families time and money. McAllen ISD, excellent since 1908.
And we're back here at United Mix Pharmacy Field. I'm Mark May along with Mario Reyna. Hope you're enjoying this game, brought to you by McAllen Instructional Television, as we bring all the home games between the Bulldogs, the Mustangs, and the Warriors. You saw Zach Garcia back to receive, standing there. It'll be taking the kickoff chores will be Jose Hernandez once again, as we take a look at the cheerleaders. And I think the Mackay cheerleaders will be out here.
They will
some
be.
of them will be out here on Saturday morning for the McAllen Kids Marathon kickoff.
In fact, cheerleaders from all our high schools and middle schools will be out here to support the big event here at McAllen.
And here's a onside kick, and this goes out of bounds. Well played by the Bulldogs. Looked like they were prepared for that, as they did not seem to be taken by surprise at all.
You know, we would think that the Bulldogs are going to try to run the ball. They've been having success here in the last couple of possessions. And run the ball, run the clock out, but that's something I thought the Aggies were going to do last week when they were up like 30-something points.
34-point lead.
Option C, 5 yards from where the ball went out of bounds.
Okay, he said option C. That means they have option A and B?
Yeah, I've never had a referee phrase it that way before, where he tells you exactly which option. I guess it's listed that way in the rule book. But option C, the team taking it where it went out of bounds, was its excellent field position for the Bulldogs at the Wolverine 47-yard line. They'll give it to Cortez out of the gun, handoff. Got a new running back in there, trying to bounce this one outside, and the Wolverines string it out.
Hard running.
Yeah, hard running there by Diego Montemayor, senior running back.
He broke about 2 or 3 tackles and is not going to get any yards on it. But getting back to referee Guerrero, I know he's worked with another referee. His name is Hugo Cruz out of Farson, Guantanamo. And that gentleman is officiating in the NFL.
Cordell Martinez with a good block on that last play as well. 2nd down and 9. Now Cortez looking at his delay clock to let that trickle down to 6 seconds, 5 seconds before he snaps it. And hands off again to Montemayor. And Montemayor has more rushing room this time, up to the 40-yard line to bring up 3rd down and about 3. Bulldogs, good game on the ground tonight, as Gutierrez has scored 4 touchdowns rushing, and they had well over 200 yards on the ground.
Nice tackles there by the Wolverines, not giving up. Frank Estrada, and also we got Isaac Donias.
So clock moving at 3.5 minutes left. PSJA Memorial can only stop at one time. As a handoff up the middle, big room there. This is Gutierrez in there, who turns his way for the 1st down, and all the way down to the 29-yard line. Pickup of about 14 yards on 3rd and 3. And that stops the clock momentarily at 3:21 until they move the chains, and it'll start her up again. 35-21 our score. Mackay in front. Mackay was down 14-7, scored 28 unanswered to take a 35-14 lead. The Wolverines came back, scored on their last possession, but unable to get the ball back on an onside kick attempt. 2 receivers right, 2 men in the backfield. They give to Gutierrez, who's going to bounce this one outside. Hit at the 25 and down to about the 20-yard line. Looks like he's close to another 1st down. And the clock now under 3 minutes and counting. So the Bulldogs on their way to improving to 1-1 this season. kind of righted the ship, if you will, after a season opening loss to Harlingen South. And they'll have a tough assignment next week when they go to Los Fresnos. Delay clock down to 13 seconds. The Wolverine band. And snap it with 2 on the delay clock as Gutierrez fighting his way forward. Picked up a good block from John Morales Gonzalez, the guard.
Should be another Bulldog first down.
Going to stop the clock again as they move the chains at 2:15 now. And I know the Bulldogs don't want to run up the score, but they are kind of running out of real estate here. They got the ball at the 16-yard line.
All you
just trying to run out that
Mark,
clock.
is just keep putting it on the
keep it on the ground.
Keep it on the ground, and just that's all you can do.
Arturo Ochoa is the center. Snaps it. Handoff Gutierrez. And Gutierrez spins his way up inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. And clock now under 2 minutes.
Gutierrez shows you his balance that he has. He did a nice little spin move. Then got hit, but didn't fall. He deserves to come out. Call it a night. Get ready for next week. There's his spin move. And there he shows his balance.
Another good block on the play by Manu Gernella, senior fullback.
We don't give out MVPs or players of the games, but Gutierrez certainly would have been that.
Yeah, he'd probably have to be our
player of the
MVP for
game.
tonight as we see Montemayor bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Clock is going to trickle now underneath the 1 minute to go. As these Bulldogs have been matriculating down the field, trying to run out that clock. Now under 1 minute to play.
Take it easy with those words. Matriculating, did I even
Well,
say
I think
it
there's
correctly?
SAT testing coming up pretty soon
wow.
here, so a lot of our kids will be out there.
Did you take your SAT, sir?
I haven't taken one in a long time.
I don't want to
That's
tell
since
you.
I was a teenager.
I don't want to tell you my results.
40 seconds to go here. Second down and 3. Montemayor on the carry again, back to about the line of scrimmage.
And that should be the last play of the game, Mark.
And clock stops at a moment with 28 seconds left as we have a official's timeout. And the Bulldogs, I think, will just have to snap it one more time as PSJA Memorial is not going to be interested in stopping the clock as the game is well in hand. 35-21 our score. Bulldogs in front. So we mentioned our next broadcast will be tomorrow night. It'll be Friday, September the 8th. Nicky Rowe Warriors, their home opener under second-year coach Bobby Flores, will be facing the Mercedes Tigers. And we'll be on the air at about 7:22. It'll be a 7:30 kickoff. Oh, by the way, we also will have the Fill the Bus campaign going at tomorrow night's game. We had the Fill the Bus tonight's game as well. People were invited to bring any materials they could donate to hurricane victims up in the Rockport area. And it's going to be, they're going to have actually 3 buses. We did one last week at the Mackay opener. And then this game here tonight and Nicky Rowe's home opener tomorrow night. So if you're watching this, you can, and if you're coming out to the Nicky Rowe game, bring some materials that can be put on the bus and help us fill up bus. And then we can ship those supplies up to where they're needed up at Aransas County ISD.
And we know that the Mercedes Tiger fans are very supportive of their football team, so expect a good crowd coming over from Mercedes. I don't remember when the last time they played on this field, but they do have a very good football tradition in Mercedes.
What that was interesting, we saw the cheerleader, the Bulldog cheerleaders, one of them giving a 5 is number 1 sign, so in reference to one of the local TV stations. Now they've started the clock again, so the Bulldogs won't need to snap it after all. Clock now at 18 seconds. Well, actually they might, because the delay clock is down to 10 seconds, so there's 2-second difference. So looks like they'll take a delay of game penalty or maybe call a timeout here with 2 seconds left. And Cortez urging on the fans. And I guess they don't call the delay of game, but that's okay. It was going to end that way anyway. Game is over. Mackay has won it 35-21. 4 touchdowns tonight by Roy Gutierrez, a touchdown by Gunnar Henderson, his 3rd of the year, and Henderson also adding a 2-point conversion. And then Maldonado with 3 extra points. And the Bulldogs win it tonight by a score of 35-21 over PSJA Memorial. Steppers helping celebrate that win. The Bulldog fans all enjoying this big win out here tonight. Hope you enjoyed it too. We'll see you tomorrow night. Mickey Rowe takes on Mercedes. And for all our MITV crew, I'm Mark May with Mario Reyna. Good night from McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium, United Mix Pharmacy Field.